ashamed to ask for help when it comes to having safe sex. But what if there is a place where these teens can go without being judged? What if there is a place for these teens to go without having to be afraid? What if there was a place for these teens to go to ask the questions they want to ask and receive birth control or health care that they need in order to practice safe sex? Well, there is. Planned Parenthood has been around for 100 years and is the most trusted healthcare provider that believes in health care for all, with no expectations or limitations in those they provide services for. Planned Parenthood is a nonprofit organization that runs off of donations, and that's where you can help. Planned Parenthood is asking for donations, no matter how big, no matter how small. Anything can help. According to Planned Parenthood's fact sheet, the teenage pregnancy rate in the United States has declined to its lowest level in the past 40 years due to the increased access of birth control Planned Parenthood has helped provide. You can go online and donate at www.plannedparenthood.org, or you can also call our national toll-free call center at 1-800-798-7092. That's 1-800-789-7092. You can also call our national toll-free call center today to make a donation and help be a part of the cause for health care for all. Planned Parenthood. Care no matter what.
In 2015, California entered one of the worst droughts in state history. The LA Times reported that snowpack would only meet 5% of California's needs, and every resident in the state would have to cut back on water usage by 35% to meet the bare minimum requirements for sustainable reserves. The reservoirs were running dry, and time was running out. In a stunning turn of events, 2016 saw what many called the storm of the century hit California. Over the course of 2 weeks, the storm dropped enough water to make up for much of the drought in the previous year. The citizens became complacent. Individuals stopped switching to drought-resistant lawns. They stopped shortening their showers. They kept the water running while they brushed their teeth. This last week, however, California saw one of its largest reserves devastated. The Oroville Dam began to have issues, and though it did not completely collapse, it began leaking 100,000 cubic feet of water per second. This is a wake-up call. The war is not over. The degrading of California's infrastructure combined with overusage of water could culminate in millions going without the basic needs for life. Do your part. Conserve water. Contact your legislators to let them know you're keeping your eyes on our water infrastructure, and you expect them to as well.
Eric Easy E. Wright. Irvin Magic Johnson. These are just two of the many people who could not escape the horrible disease known as HIV. AIDS.gov calculated that 1.2 million people in the U.S. are living with HIV, and 1 in every 8 of them don't even know that they are HIV positive. It is time for everyone to go to their local doctor and get tested. Let's do what we can to make sure we continue the fight against HIV, so that we are no longer hearing sounds like this, but instead hearing sounds like this.
I love you, Daddy.
Listen to this message. Please don't ignore. Go get tested, and the life you will save is yours.
You're listening to Tiger Radio.
Clear.
The pulse of Pacific.
Good evening, Tiger fans. Welcome into the beautiful confines of Klein Family Field. Today's matchup between the UC Davis Aggies and the University of Pacific Tigers. Hello, everyone. I'm Jeff Dominic. Thank you for everyone to joining in and tuning in as we get you set up for this matchup. And both teams riding similar records. Right now, the UC Davis Aggies at 15-24, while the University of Pacific Tigers running at 15-30. The Tigers coming off of a little bit of a long trip as they are just now touching down. I would say probably came home yesterday, maybe Sunday, but more I think about it, due to this is the finals week. But they came home from Tallahassee, Florida, off of a 4-game matchup between them and the Florida State Seminoles, which unfortunately for the Tigers, they did have a little bit of a struggle and got swept in all 4 games. But the reality is that the Tigers were in 3 of those 4 games, and if they were able to find a little bit of a clutch hit here or there, or maybe a defensive stop or a pitch that would have ended a inning, we could have said that the Tigers would have possibly either won or split that series. But unfortunately, it didn't go their way, and it's kind of been the way that this season has played out. On the road, only 1 win on the season, so we are welcoming them home as they do have a winning record at home. As the Tigers did lose once again to Tallahassee in Florida. They did lose 9-8 in game 1, 18-5 in the first part of the doubleheader, and then 5-3, 5-3 in consecutive games in Tallahassee. For the UC Davis Aggies, they are once again riding a little bit of a similar record. And just looking up their last time, they played UC Santa Barbara, and actually won 2 of those 3 games over the weekend. On Friday, they won they lost 6-3, and then the doubleheader on Saturday, they won 3-2, 2-0, and a great performance by the UC Davis Aggies getting that shutout on the Saturday of the doubleheader. And we'll give you the starting lineups here in just shortly. A little bit of a different change for the Tigers. They do not have Danny Mayer, who's out with an illness. So one big bat that is not going to be in the lineup is Danny Mayer. UC Davis running a fairly similar lineup. The only real difference is at first base, Alejandro Lara will be getting a start. That'll be his 11th start of the season. The rest of them have at least played in over 20 games. The second start that's getting a little bit of I wouldn't say a spot start, is Cameron Briggs. Briggs, the sophomore, batting .274. He will be making his 19th start. Everyone else in the lineup has over 20 games started for the Aggies. On the mound will be Matt Blaze, who has a 4.46 ERA, 0-3 on the season. This will be a 7th start for UC Davis, and in 40 innings and a third, he's given up 42 hits and struck out 20 opposing batters. Both managers are currently out on at home plate, as they are getting acquainted with the umpires and each other, I'm sure, as well. And we are just a few moments away from the first pitch. But yeah, the Davis coming off of UC Davis coming off of a nice little weekend, looking to continue that little momentum that they are starting to build. As once again they are 15-24, but winning a couple in a row here is obviously a good situation. They still have quite a few games still, as they still are looking to, and they haven't played UC Irvine yet, Grand Canyon, and UC Riverside. So they still have 3 series to go. While the Tigers, they're finishing up. They have 2 series left, and that's about it. They have Santa Clara this weekend coming up, and after that they will finish off their season in San Francisco. I should say their season series in San Francisco. They still have one more matchup against UC Davis. That will be on the road. A little bit of a makeup game, as they were rained out the last time that these two teams were going to play. But yeah, the Aggies are riding a little bit of a good streak, actually winning 3 of their last 4. They also did beat St. Mary's 11-10. So that's a good feat in its own. St. Mary's a very good West Coast Conference team. So now they will play against, once again, the University of Pacific. And on the mound for the Tigers, we'll see Bailey Hansen. Hansen has pitched well in the lineup as well. He's Currently no record, but this will be his second start of the season in 13 appearances. He's pitched 18 innings, given up 17 runs, only 8 of them being earned, and struck out 11 in his 18 innings so far this season. So nice to see Bailey Hansen, the freshman from Colorado Springs, get a start. Coaches have gone back to their respective dugouts, and we are just waiting for the announcement of the Tigers to come out and get onto the field. The Aggies are led by head coach Matt Vaughn, assistant coaches Brett Lindgren and Lloyd Acosta, volunteer assistant Ben Cordy. While we got a minute, we want to congratulate the University of Pacific women's softball on their season. Just wrapped it up, and possibility playing in a NSIC, the National, or NISC, National Invitational Softball Championships. And so we'll kind of wait as that will be announced on Sunday if they will make it. But congratulations to them on the season that they've had thus far. Tigers are all huddled up along the left field line, and they break the huddle, and they're heading out to the field. Tigers wearing the all-white as the very tall right-hander and Joey Mejia, the very tall right-hander Hansen and Mejia go to the pitching mound, and we will step aside and let the national anthem take place. And then when we come back, we'll give you the starting lineups.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Creekside Band. Nice job.
All right, welcome back here. And if you're an Aggies fan, welcome in, as they are the visiting team, obviously. We want to welcome everybody in that's tuning in. Pacific Tigers will send out Bailey Hansen, as we were talking about him just a minute ago. Bailey Hansen, the right-handed freshman. And if you saw him out there on the camera at the pitcher's mound, he is extremely tall. He engulfs Joey Mejia, standing 6'6", 218 pounds, getting his second start of the season with a 4.0 ERA, 13 games he's appeared in. This is his second start of the season. In 18 innings pitched, he's given up 19 hits, 8 earned runs, and 11 strikeouts. And as we mentioned, the man that will be sending the signals to him, Joey Mejia, he'll be the catcher for tonight. And Joey Mejia is standing 5'10". So there's a little bit of a discrepancy when they were standing out there on the mound for the national anthem. But in the infield, or actually, we'll go to the outfield for the Tigers. In the left will be McKay Koisian. In center will be Jimmy Boris. And in right will be Lucas Halstead. As we mentioned, Danny Mayer not going to be in the lineup today due to an illness. The infield is as follows from third base all the way across the diamond. will be Carter Hayes at third. Shortstop will be Matt Tarantino. Second base, Kevin Sondry. And at first, Ryan Schultz. We talked about that the Tigers will have Bailey Hansen and Joey Mejia, Mejia being the catcher. Leading off for the UC Davis Aggies will be Ryan Hooper, followed by Alex Aguilar, Cameron Olson, Ryan Anderson, Ignacio Diaz, Alejandro Lara, Cameron Briggs, Caleb Van Blake, and to round up the batting order will be Brad Plushko. First pitch is underway. The first pitch is a line drive right to Tarantino. Will go on a one-hop throw on to first, and that is a one-pitch, one-out for the Tigers. So didn't even have a chance to sit down and have a little drink of water. It's quickly one pitch, one out. And I'll bring up Alex Aguilar, the junior, batting .276 on the season. See if he can start things off for the Aggies. First pitch is right down on the inside corner for a strike, a fastball. Alex Aguilar from Atherton, California. As the 0-1 pitch is swung on and right over to Tarantino on a couple hops. He'll throw a one-hopper to the first baseman, Schultz, and that is out number 2. So 3 pitches, 2 outs.
Designated hitter number 35, Cameron Olson.
And it's similar to what Sacramento State did in a Tuesday matchup here at Klein Family Field. Sacramento State came in and they were very aggressive. At that time, it was Giovannoni that took the mound. And reality was that he went through 5 innings and only gave up 60 pitches. As the first pitch is well outside for ball 1 to Cameron Olson, the senior batting .293 on the season with 6 home runs, has driven in 19 Aggies. This being his 33rd start of the season. The left-handed batter steps back in, a swing and a miss for strike 1. As the first pitch today was at 6:04. So 2 outs here, quick 2 outs as the 1-1 pitch is inside and low for ball 2. The right-handed pitcher Hansen on the first base side. Here's the 2-1, and that is popped down the left field line, maybe too far out of play for Coisy, and it is. It'll go into the grassy area, and it'll be just a foul ball. So a 2-2 pitch coming up to the designated hitter, Olson, as the right-hander deals. And that is a chopper down the right field line, and it'll just go foul right along the first base bag to stay at 2-2. Cameron Olson from Yuba City, California. The left-handed batter once again steps back in. Here's the 2-2 by the righty. A swing and a miss, strike 3. So Hansen works a quick 1-2-3 inning. We'll head to the bottom of the first. No score here at Klein Family Field on the Tiger Digital Network.
Eric Easy E. Wright, Irvin Magic Johnson. These are just 2 of the many people who could not escape the horrible disease known as HIV. AIDS.gov calculated that 1.2 million people in the U.S. are living with HIV, and 1 in every 8 of them don't even know that they are HIV positive. It is time for everyone to go to their local doctor and get tested. Let's do what we can to make sure we continue the fight against HIV, so that we are no longer hearing sounds like this.
I don't want to die yet!
But instead hearing sounds like this.
I love you, Daddy!
Listen to this message. Please don't ignore. Go get tested, and the life you will save is yours.
The Scholar Share Tiger Pack is back. For just $40, you can grab 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 sodas to any Pacific baseball game. It's the best value in town. For more information about the Scholar Share Tiger Pack, head online to pacifictigers.com/tigerpack. The Tigers were able to get out of that top of that first in a 1-2-3 fashion, and we'll head to the bottom of the first inning. We'll see Jimmy Boris leading off, followed by Matt Tarantino. James Free will be in the third spot, followed by Schultz. Halstead will be batting 5th. Batting 6th will be McKay Koisian. Once again, he is stepping in at a little bit of a different defensive lineup for the Tigers as Danny Mayer is out with an illness. Joey Mejia will be batting 7th, followed by Carter Hayes, and Kevin Sondry will be rounding up the batting order. Jimmy Boris will step in. On the mound for the UC Davis Aggies will be Matt Blaze, a 4.46 ERA. The junior is 0-3 on the season. 13 appearances. This will be his 7th start. He has pitched a complete game, pitching 40 1/3 innings, giving up 20 earned runs, striking out 20 batters. As the first pitch to Boris is right down the middle, called for strike 1. We'll give you the outfield and the defensive alignment here in just a moment as the 0-1 pitch is already underway, and it is a breaking ball that goes low and inside for ball 1. In the outfield for the UC Davis Aggies, from left to right, will be Ryan Anderson in left. Center field will be Alex Aguilar, and in right, Ryan Hooper. Right-hander deals a curveball that went about the eyes and then dropped right down to belt high, and swinging away was Jimmy Boris. In the infield will be at third, Cameron Briggs. Shortstop will be Brad Plushkill. At second base will be Caleb Van Blake, as the 1-2 is swung on down into the left center field gap, and that will fall for a base hit. Rounding first and heading on to second is Jimmy Boris. He did stop, but he's kind of stutter stepped. He'll head on to third, slide, out! Says the home plate umpire, who ran all the way over to third, was Kenneth Durham. And that stutter step may have caught him as he was heading on to second and kind of did a little bit of stutter step and then decided to take off to third. A good relay from left field over to the shortstop Plushkill got Boris at third. And that'll bring up Matt Tarantino as the first pitch is low and outside for ball 1. To finish off the defensive lineman at first will be Alejandro Lara and the catcher Ignacio Diaz. So Matt Tarantino will dig in, and the 1-0 is also low, but that time is a fastball that misses low to go to 2-0. So Jimmy Boris had an opportunity to be in scoring position, but a good relay pushed him out as the 2-0 is lifted into left field. That will drop for a base hit, and it bobbled by the left fielder. Heading into second, it'll be Matt Tarantino, so it'll be a single and an error by Matt Tarantino. Now he's in scoring position with 1 away, and it'll bring up James Free.
The Tiger designated hitter, number 28, James Free.
So an error on the left fielder, moving Tarantino to first, and you could only feel a little bit of gut wrench as far as if Boris was standing over there at second, he would have been scoring. I understand that he was going all the way to third, and if that stutter step didn't occur, he probably would have been at third. But James Free will dig in, the switch hitting batter, stepping into the left side as the first pitch is low for ball 1. Following Free will be Schultz as the 1-0 is also low for ball 2. Second batter in a row that Blaze has been behind. Last time was to Tarantino, who lifted one into left field for a base hit. And now looking at Free with a 2-0 pitch. James Free, the talented catcher, playing the designated hitter role, and that pitch hit him as he tried to kind of dig out of the way. And it hit him probably right around the calf area. So Blaze already having a little bit of control issues as the shortstop Plushkill will go ahead and have a little conversation with him and then head back over to his defensive spot. Brings up Ryan Schultz. Schultz batting .291, has 3 home runs, and now with runners on first and second, Schultz looking to drive him home. As the right-handed pitcher Blaze on the first base side of the mound digs in, and the first pitch is low for ball 1. On first is Free, second is Tarantino. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Schultz, and that is off the fist, and it will land in the right field. Trying to dig into second and called out, as that was a hit right off the glove of Van Blake, and Schultz was kind of lifted off, or kind of caught off guard as he started to run back to first, thinking it was going to be caught, and he tried to make it over to second, and he was called out on the slide. And already a pitching mound visit by the coaching staff, and I want to believe that that is the head coach for the Aggies, Matt Vaughn. That could be Brett Lindgren, giving a little encouraging words to his pitcher Blaze. Matt Blaze, a junior. As he digs in on the first base side of the pitching mound from Half Moon Bay, California. Looks into Lucas Halstead. The first pitch is low for ball 1. That one looked like a good pitch, but when he's had the little bit of a control issue like he's had, he's not going to get that call. The umpires for today's game at home plate, Kenneth Durham. First base will be Jeff Henricks. And at third, Eric Martinez, as a curveball goes just below the belt, called for a strike by Durham. So Lucas Halstead looking in at a 1-1 pitch. Halstead has put his average at 225, a fastball that is right at the knees for strike 2. Moves it to 1-2, and now UC Davis with an opportunity to get out of this inning after the Tigers were threatening with the leadoff double that was stretched to a triple, or was attempted to be stretched by a triple, called out. A single by Tarantino moved over to second off the error, and Free got hit by a pitch. Here's the 1-2, and that is just outside for ball 2. So a little bit of being a little lucky is UC Davis so far, as this is the 5th batter of the inning. But with 2 outs, here's the 2-2, and that is outside ball 3. On deck, McKay Koisian. Should Halstead be able to extend this inning, either via the hit or a walk? So Blaze out of the stretch. Here's the 3-2. Runner from first goes, and it is low for ball 4. So a walk.
Left fielder, number 9, McKay Koisian.
Moves Schultz over to the second. And Schultz reached, I should say, it was a base hit, but it reached on a fielder's choice due to the fact that Free was out at second, and the right fielder came up gunning. Hooper got Free at second. So Tarantino's over at third. Here's the first pitch to McKay Koisian, a chopper that is high off the first base side, and covering will be Blaze, and he will receive the flip by Lara, and that will end the inning. So the Tigers They get a lot on. They do a lot of damage, but are unable to score. We head to the top of the second. No score here at Klein Family Field on the Tiger Digital Network.
In Shape Health Clubs.
Statistics show that there are more than 500,000 homeless people in the United States. 500,000 who will not have a roof over their heads, not have a warm bed to fall asleep in, and not know where their next meal will come from. Over 2,000 of them live in our backyard of the greater Stockton area in San Joaquin County. Few are aware of their struggles. The Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity at the University of the Pacific and Stockton Mayor Michael Tubbs will be holding a homelessness awareness event from April 12th through the 14th. During this time, the men of Pike will be experiencing the life of a homeless person by sleeping outdoors, only receiving food by donation, and raising money for local shelters and food banks. Mayor Tubbs will be speaking to the school and addressing this issue of homelessness in Stockton. Donations can be made to Pike's Hit of Reality through check, cash, and card. Every dollar raised will go back into your Stockton community so that someone will know that they won't be falling asleep hungry tonight. This message is brought to you by the Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity, Kappa Nu Chapter, and Pacific Tiger Radio.
Top of the second here, it's Klein Family Field. Jeff Dominic, thank you all very much for joining us here today, as Bailey Hansen will get on the mound for his second inning of work. He had a 1-2-3 inning, and the Tigers were threatening in multiple ways than one, but were unable to score in the bottom half of that inning. So Bailey Hansen will try and step back in and work on the positive side of things, where he had the 1-2-3 inning, ending with a strikeout. You'll see the 4, 5, and 6 will be Anderson, Diaz, and Lara as the first pitch is fouled back for strike one. Ryan Anderson batting .307 on the season. He's sophomore. The righty deals. The 1-0-1 is inside on the corner for strike two. So Ryan Anderson now looking at an 0-2 pitch. Ryan Anderson from Pleasanton, California. As he looks at the 0-2. A swing and a miss for strike three. That one was right at the eyes, and Anderson went away swinging for out number one. Second strikeout of the game for Hansen. He ended the inning and started the inning with strikeouts now. Now I'll bring up Diaz. Ignacio Diaz, the senior, batting .298 on the season, steps in from the right side. And the first pitch is on the inside, misses for ball one. Ignacio Diaz, 35th start of the season, has 1 home run, 16 RBIs, as he swings away at that one to go 1-1. One of two seniors in today's lineup for the Aggies. The 1-1 is swung on down the left field line. That will hook just foul to go to 1-2. That was a pitch that Diaz, his eyes lit up, and he, I would say, just missed it. Probably about 5 feet off the left field line. Now looking at a 1-2 pitch. The righty deals, and that is a chopper down into right field, as that will get past Kevin Sondry. So the first base hit by the Aggies comes via Ignacio Diaz.
First baseman number 18, Alejandro Lara.
And it brings up Alejandro Lara. Lara, the first baseman in his 11th start. The freshman batting .257 on the season. Right-handed batter steps in to face Hansen for the first time. First pitch is on the inside corner, just around the belt for strike one. Hansen is nibbling on that corner, and the home plate umpire, Kenneth Durham, is obliging with that one. He's been consistent on it so far, so watch for Hansen to possibly go after that a little bit more. 0-1. About the same spot. This time it was a little bit higher, and it goes to 1-1. On deck is Briggs. Here's the 1-1. That one's high for ball 2. Alejandro Lara with the Aggies wearing the blue jerseys, gray pants, white numbers with a little bit of gold trim right around the numbers. 2-1 pitch. That one is up high, and that one was in on the hands for ball 3. Diaz is over at first. He has a stolen base on the season. Right-handed pitcher Hansen in the stretch. Here's the 3-1. And Mejia framed it. No call by Durham, and that's a walk to Lara.
Number 13, Cameron Briggs.
That brings up Cameron Briggs. Briggs, the third baseman, batting .274, has 9 RBIs on the season and 62 at bats. He's had 17 hits. Sophomore making his 19th start of the season, batting in the 7th spot. And with one away here, runner in scoring position, that's Diaz. First pitch is right on the corner, right below the belt, probably closer to the thighs for strike 1. Following him would be the left-hander Van Blake. Righty deals 0-1, and that one's just low for ball 1. May have been off the corner as well, on the inside corner. Carter Hayes is over at third for the Tigers. He's playing right on the fringe of the infield grass along with Schultz over at first. So he's not holding on the runner at first. Lara. Outfield playing straight away. And the middle infielders are at double play depth. That one is high to go to 2-1. So Hansen was able to strike out the first batter of the inning, but a base hit and now a walk. And Briggs in a good spot here for the Aggies. He looks at a 2-1 pitch. The 2-1 is swung on right to Tarantino. He'll flip it over to second, throw on to first, and a twin-killing double play ends the inning. A 6-4-3. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Tigers coming up to bat. No score here at Klein Family Field on the Tiger Digital Network.
Be sure to check out the fantastic offer from Wingstop on the back of your ticket. For the nearest location, order.
Thousands of cats and dogs each year are housed in animal shelters. Local volunteers and workers help to give these poor animals a second chance. But they can't do it alone. Please go down to your local shelter today to volunteer, donate, or adopt. Your support can help end the 4 million euthanations performed each year on animals. Please help. Give a little to save a lot of life. For more information, visit us at www.humanesociety.org.
At Wingstop, our thing is wings. Cook them to order in 11 flavors and pair them with hand-cut fries. When the wing craving hits you, order online at wingstop.com. Wingstop, get at it. We've reached the bottom of the second here at Klein Family Field. Jeff Dominic along with you. Thank you all very much for tuning in as we will see the 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Tigers. It'll be Joey Mejia, Carter Hayes, and Kevin Sondry. 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Tigers. UC Davis at the top of this inning was able to get 2 on, put a runner in scoring position with 1 out, but a 6-4-3 double play by Briggs ended that threat. So we will see the right-handed pitcher to Mejia called for ball 1. The right-handed pitcher, Matt Blaze, see what he can do and see if he can kind of find some control, as he did have control issues in that first inning after getting knocked around a little bit. Here's the 1-0 as he works quickly. That is called for a strike right above the knees and on the outer half. He gave up a double to Jimmy Boris, but once again, Jimmy Boris tried to stretch it out to a triple, and a good relay throw thrown in by Plushkill, getting him at third, put 1 away as the 1-1 is swing and a miss for strike 2. Tarantino was able to get a base hit and an error by the left fielder. Moved Tarantino to second. Free got hit by a pitch. Schultz got into a fielder's choice, but it was a 9-4 throw out as it landed in the right field, but a heads-up play got free trying to go to second as the 1-2 is up high to go to 2-2. So with 2 away, that put Lucas Halstead up, and he walked, and then McKay Koisian grounded out to the first baseman, a 3-1 put out. 2-2 is in the dirt, ball 3. So the Tigers were able to get a lot on, but just were unable to be successful in scoring, and that was probably pretty frustrating. As the right-handed pitcher, Matt Blaze, looks in. Here's the 3-2, and that is popped into right field. Running after it is right fielder Hooper. He'll make the catch for out number 1. Brings up Carter Hayes.
The Tiger third baseman, number 3, Carter Hayes.
Carter Hayes, the freshman third baseman from Carmel, California. Wrapping up his freshman season, Batting .115. First pitch is lined into left field. Actually, it's lifted into left field. Running after it is Anderson. A good cut, but Anderson was able to make a running catch.
The second baseman, number 8, Kevin Sondry.
So 2 quick outs. Brings up Kevin Sondry, the second baseman. The infielder that plays many different positions. He's been a shortstop. He's been a third baseman. He's playing second base this season. So he's played almost every infield position. Here's the first pitch, and that is a breaking ball that looks like it could have been a slider. Hit the outer half for strike 1. We'll go to the top of the order. If Sondry reaches, that'll be Jimmy Boris, as that pitch misses outside for ball 1. In the top of the third, it'll be the 8-9-1 hitters for the Aggies. It'll be Van Blake, Plushkill, and Hooper. The 1-1. And that one's low for ball 2. That'll look like a curveball. So Blaze looks like he has multiple pitches. So far, we've seen a fastball possibly look like a slurve and a curve. The 2-1 is underway, and that one hit Kevin Sondry. Well, that's the 9th time he's been hit by a pitch.
Number 7, Jimmy Boris.
So the inning will get extended. Jimmy Boris will be coming up. The senior batting .197, had a double. That double was all the way in the left center field, and as we mentioned, he stutter stepped as he hit second base, thinking about going to third, and if he wouldn't have stutter stepped, he probably would have been at third. And this inning, that bottom of that first may have been a little bit different. The runner checked at first, back in time with Sondri. Sondri has 4 stolen bases. So he gets his lead. Here's the first pitch. That is in there for strike 1, right on the outside corner to Boris. Runner goes. Their 0-1 pitch is low. Sondri's going to be out at second. So the second time he's been caught stealing, and the inning is over. So the Tigers get 1 on. That was Sondri, but that's all they get. So we head to the top of the third. No score here at Klein Family Field on the Tiger Digital Network.
We strike the match. Flame meets charcoal. Fire builds. Faster, hotter, stronger.
She's 16 years old, but she looks like she's 25, wearing a tight dress she'll rip off in a shady motel room. She thought this was the life she wanted. She got the money, the clothes, the attention from her pimp, but she also can't imagine living without prostitution. She doesn't think she's a victim. She thinks she's in control, but she can't leave. When she's no longer the sexy little girl they want, she may only see one way out. This girl lived here in Stockton. She's one of thousands of girls in the city who has been sex trafficked but doesn't see herself as a victim. Call the local Stockton Human Trafficking Hotline to report any tips at 209-948-1911. If you see anything, say something. You will be saving a life. And if you are this girl, there is hope. Call 209-948-1911. You are worth so much more.
Top of the third inning here as the Tigers were unsuccessful in the bottom of the second. We'll see the 8-9-1 hitters for the UC Davis Aggies. First pitch is on the outside corner, just misses for ball 1 to Van Blake. Following Van Blake will be Plushkill and then Hooper. We'll go to 8-9-1 hitters here in the top of the third. Hansen with the 1-0, and that one's low on the inside corner for ball 2. So Hansen had the 1-2-3 inning, then struck out the first batter in the second, gave up a base hit, a walk, and then the 6-4-3 double play ended that inning for the young righty as the 2-0 is underway. And that is lifted into left field. Under it looks like McKay Koisian. Take a few steps to his right, to his left, and that'll be out number 1. My right, his left.
Brad Plushkill.
It'll be Brad Plushkill will be coming up. Plushkill, the junior right-handed batter, batting 174. He has 36 starts as the first pitch is lifted into right. Halstead will take a few steps back, and it'll be a quick out number 2.
Right fielder number 8.
The Tigers looking to get a 1-2-3 inning. And brings up Brian Hooper, the right fielder. Junior 0 for 1, grounded out to the shortstop. Batting .301. As the first pitch he sees is low for ball 1. In the bottom half of the inning, what will be the top of the order will be Boris, Tarantino, and Free. There's the 1-0 by the very tall righty, and that is chopped foul into the Tigers dugout. Hansen at 31 pitches, and we're only in the third inning. He's been very effective, and good defense in the second inning helps him along. Here's the 1-1, and that is lined to the shortstop, Tarantino, and he makes the catch for out number 3. 1-2-3, go the Aggies. We'll head to the bottom of the third. No score here at Klein Family Field on the Tiger Digital Network.
If the Tigers get hit.
San Francisco SPCA, a non-profit animals shelter which is to save and protect animals, provide care and treatment. In 2015,
The leave release rate for the entire city of San Francisco reached 93%. We imagine a community where every animal has a loving home, where animals don't need the support of San Francisco's recruits and shelters. The SFSPCA is an independent, local nonprofit that receives no government funding and is not part of any national organization. We rely on your support. Come to join us. We can't do this without you. You can go to www.sfspca.org to donate or contact us 415-554-3000.
Bottom of the third inning here at Klein Family Field, no score, as the Tigers will have the leadoff batter Jimmy Boris coming up. It'll be Boris, Tarantino, and Free. Jeff Dominic along with you. Thank you all very much for joining us here as the Tigers and Aggies look to start their winning ways, as the Aggies are actually winners of 3 of their last 4, so they look like they're trending in the right direction so far. Both teams coming in with 15 wins. Tigers have 30 losses, and the Aggies have 24, as that is lifted over towards the third baseman. A pop fly that will be caught for out number 1.
The shortstop, number 10.
Caught by Briggs.
Tarantino.
Brings up Matt Tarantino. He's 1 for 1. He did have that base hit that's extended to the second base after an error by the left fielder Anderson. First pitch to Tarantino's outside, ball 1. Tarantino batting .293 on the season, has definite pop in his bat. He's got 6 home runs and 23 RBIs. The 1-0, and that is outside, ball 2. Following him, James Free, switch hitting batter. Here's the 2-0. That is outside low, ball 3. That is something that Tarantino has definitely worked on, is his patience at the plate. Seemed like he was pressing to begin the season, but really has changed that over the last, I would say, probably the last 25 games. And probably, I would say, actually probably the last 20. As the 3-0 by Blaze is taken for strike 1. Blaze so far through 2 1/3 has given up 2 hits, 1 walk, no strikeouts so far. There's the 3-1, and that's outside, ball 4. So this will be his second walk of the evening. He also has hit 2 batters. That one of them was James Free. The other one was Kevin Sondry. That was the one to Sondry was in the last inning. I'll bring up James Free. Free, I'm going to be opinionated behind it, but I would say that he's probably in the line for probably the freshman of the year for the WCC, as the first pitch is missed inside for ball 1. His 12 home runs on the season. Driven in 44 Tigers. Batting .338. A switch hitting catcher. Here's the 1-0, and that is fouled back behind us to go to 1-1. Talking about him, it still throws me off to say that a switch hitting catcher. I don't get a chance to say that very often. So, and today he's the designated hitter, but typically, I should say. The 1-1. Curveball on the outside corner for strike 2. Schultz is on deck. He reached on the fielder's choice. A 9-4 putout that Free kind of got hung out to dry as it hit off the second baseman Van Blake's glove. Here's the 1-2, and that's up high, ball 2. It hit off of Van Blake's glove, went into right field, and the right fielder Hooper had a heads-up throw. He threw it on to the shortstop. I put 9-4, but it's actually 9-6. But heads-up throw to the shortstop covering second, and that got free as they checked back the runner to first to Tarantino. Laura applies the tag, but Tarantino back in time. And they actually had a snap throw this time by Blaze. Tarantino has 3 stolen bases. He's 3 for 5. (3-2) actually. The 2-2, I should say. And once again, checking the runner back. Tarantino is standing. Well, he's got a fairly good-sized lead, probably about a 4-step lead. Check the runner first. Once again, going to throw back. This time he got him. So Tarantino's picked off, and he's looking back at the first base umpire, Jeff Henrich, and he's not happy about that one. He'll go ahead and head back, but not happy with Tarantino, but there are 2 away. James Freed now digging back in, now with 2 outs, looking at a 2-2 pitch. Blaze deals. And it's a curveball down the right center field gap. That will fall, and a double as Freed will run all the way to second. Double by James Freed. And now I'll bring up Ryan Schultz. I had to double check because I didn't want to assume that Aguilar had a good beat on it, it looked like, and was able to cut it off. But didn't want to ever assume, but Free looked like he was going to be in there without a problem, but that throw and the way it was cut off almost took me off for a second here. So Ryan Schultz digs in. Right-handed batter, righty-on-righty matchup. Check the runner back, and Free dives back, but no throw. Matt Blaze getting a little bit of the luck here. That's the third base hit by the Tigers. First pitch is fouled back to go to 0-1. Halstead on deck. Schultz reach on a fielder's choice. The 0-1 is swung on down to right center field. Looking after it is Hooper. He'll reach up and make the catch for out number 3. So the Tigers get 2-1, but after getting picked off, Tarantino is retired, and then Free gets a double with a 2-out double, but after that, Schultz flies out to right, and that ends the inning. So we head to the top of the 4th. No score here at Klein Family Field on the Tiger Digital Network.
Thousands of cats and dogs each year are housed in animal shelters. Local volunteers and workers help to give these poor animals a second chance. But they can't do it alone. Please go down to your local shelter today to volunteer, donate, or adopt. Your support can help end the 4 million euthanations performed each year on animals. Please help. Give a little to save a lot of life. For more information, visit us at www.humanesociety.org.
Lincoln Center is Stockton's premier shopping and dining destination. Enjoy boutique shopping award-winning restaurants, and family-friendly atmosphere, conveniently located at Pacific Avenue and Benjamin Holt, less than 15 minutes from the University of the Pacific. Visit LincolnCenterShops.com for a list of stores that offer discounts to all UOP students. Lincoln Center, always in style. Top of the fourth, no score here at Klein Family Field. Jeff Dominic along with you. Thank you all very much for joining us here, as we will see the 2-3-4 hitters. The first pitch by Hansen and misses for ball one. It'll be Aguilar, Olson, and Anderson. Aguilar grounded out to the shortstop in the first inning. The 0-1 is lined into left field. That will drop for a base hit. Rounding first and heading on to second will be Aguilar. And standing up with a double, a leadoff double by Aguilar for the Aggies. Found a hold of that 1-0 pitch and just lined it into left field.
Hitter number 35, Cameron Olson.
It brings up Kevin Olson. Olson struck out in the first. Cameron Olson, excuse me. So Olson, the left-handed batter, will dig in with no outs, and now a leadoff double, putting the Aggies in threatening position here. Hansen will step off and check the runner at second. Tigers wearing the all-white. First pitch to him is outside for ball one. For the Aggies, no runs on 2 hits, 1 error here in the top of the fourth. The Tigers, no runs, 3 hits, no errors. Looking at a 1-0 pitch by Hansen. The righty deals, and that one's up high, ball 2. Carter Hayes is standing right at the fringe of the third base grass, or the infield grass once again. 2-0 is underway, and that is misses up high and outside, ball 3. Olson with 6 home runs, 19 RBIs, has a triple and 6 doubles. In 124 at-bats, he has 36 hits. The 3-0 by Hansen misses. Late strike call by the home plate umpire, Durham, and it goes to 3-1. Olson and myself were both thinking the same exact thing, and probably, I would say that everyone here probably kind of thought the same thing. It was an extremely late call. But Hansen gets away with one. Here's the 3-1 as he deals. Runner goes, and it'll be knocked foul to go to 3-2. Runner was going, and you can only assume it was probably a hit-and-run call. Olson looks in. On deck is Anderson. So out of the stretch, the 6'6" freshman looks in. Here's the 3-2. That is down the left field line. Pop foul. Carter Hayes will give it a little bit of a look, but it'll land foul and remains 3-2. Anderson struck out in the second. He's the man on deck. Ryan Anderson, the sophomore for the Aggies. But here's the 3-2 once again to Olson. Righty deals. And that is up high. Ball 4. So a walk to Olson. And Anderson will dig in Cleanup batter batting 305.
Number 23, Ryan Anderson.
6 home runs, 31 RBIs. And that'll get a conversation by head coach Mike New. And one little thing of note is today is Taco Tuesday, and that will end the night for Bailey Hansen. So, as I was just about to read off a little thing about Taco Tuesdays, because today was the last day of it, we will step aside with runners on first and second, no outs. Here in the top of the fourth, the Aggies threatening here on the Tiger Digital Network.
San Francisco SPCA, a non-profit animals shelter which is to save and protect animals, provide care and treatment. In 2015, the live release rate for the entire city of San Francisco reached 93%. We imagine a community where every animal has a loving home, where animals don't need the support of San Francisco's rescues and shelters. The SFSPCA is an independent, local non-profit that receives no government funding and is not part of any national organization. We rely on your support. Come to join us. We can't do this without you. You can go to www.sfspca.org to donate or contact us 415-554-3000.
She's 16 years old, but she looks like she's 25, wearing a tight dress she'll rip off in a shady motel room. She thought this was the life she wanted. She got the money, the clothes, the attention from her pimp, but she also can't imagine living without prostitution. She doesn't think she's a victim. She thinks she's in control, but she can't leave. When she's no longer the sexy little girl they want, she may only see one way out. This girl lived here in Stockton. She's one of thousands of girls in the city who has been sex trafficked but doesn't see herself as a victim. Call the local Stockton Human Trafficking Hotline to report any tips at 209-948-1911. If you see anything, say something. You will be saving a life. And if you are this girl, there is hope. Call 209-948-1911. You are worth so much more.
That's the Big Dipper over there.
Yellow and blue make green.
Well, a cow pie really isn't a pie.
Come on, Riff! Open your eyes!
Remember, you're always teaching. Teach carefully. React with rage and kids will learn it's okay to do the same. Keep your cool and kids will do likewise. For advice, visit actagainstviolence.org. Brought to you by MetLife Foundation, National Association for the Education of Young Children, and the Ad Council.
New pitcher on the mound for the Pacific Tigers is it will be Miles Haddad, the senior right-handed side armor, will step in with 2 on and no outs. Bailey Hansen's day is done. He is responsible for the runners on first and second, however, as we'll have Ryan Anderson digging in, batting 305. Struck out in the second. Runner is checked back at second. So Aguilar is standing at second. He had the leadoff double, followed by a walk by Olsen. Cut the end of Bailey Hansen's day, and they will rely on Miles Haddad to eat up some innings. As Haddad will look in, and the first pitch to Anderson, once again, not going to happen. He's still checking the runner at second. Aguilar has 9 stolen bases on the season. He's 9 for 12, as well as Olsen is 2 for 3. First pitch is underway, and that misses outside, ball 1. Anderson, the cleanup hitter, batting 305. 6 home runs, 31 RBIs in 154 at-bats. He's got 47 hits. as this is his 40th start of the season. The 1-0 is swung on, and it'll lift it into center field. Racing after it is Boris. He's going to have to make a catch on the run. He does for out number 1.
The catcher number 16, Ignacio Diaz.
So a great play by Jimmy Boris. Had to run a long way as he was playing pretty far back. I would say he was probably the deepest out of the outfielders, and on the run made the catch. Aguilar was at second. He made a heads-up play to run back to second. He wasn't sure if that was going to fall or not. So the first pitch to Diaz is called for a strike. The catcher had a base hit, reached second in the second inning, but after a 6-4-3 double play, ended that inning. It's as far as he went. So no score here as the Aggies are threatening. They had the leadoff double, and now the Tigers, with one out here, are in double play depth. Here's the 1-0 or 0-1, and that is swung on and missed. Strike 2. On deck is Lara. And Briggs would follow should this inning be extended. But Diaz now looking at an 0-2 spot by the right-handed senior Miles Haddad. Runners get their lead. Here's the 0-2. And that just misses outside for ball 1. It was off the outside corner. And I would say that may have also been a little low. But that was a good pitch by Haddad. It could have... If Diaz would have been swinging on that one, I would not have been disappointed. That was a good pitch by Haddad and a good layoff by Diaz. So here's the 1-2, and that is chopped right to Haddad. He'll throw on to second, on to first, double play, and the Tigers get out of it. So the Aggies were getting a leadoff double, but they strand a pair of runners. We head to the bottom of the 4th. No score here on the Tiger Digital Network.
For just $40, you get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 sodas.
Eric Easy E. Wright.
/TigerCon.
Irvin Magic Johnson. These are just 2 of the many people who could not escape the horrible disease known as HIV. AIDS.gov calculated that 1.2 million people in the U.S. are living with HIV, and 1 in every 8 of them don't even know that they are HIV positive. It is time for everyone to go to their local doctor and get tested. Let's do what we can to make sure we continue the fight against HIV, so that we are no longer hearing sounds like this.
I don't want to die yet.
But instead hearing sounds like this.
I love you, Daddy.
Listen to this message. Please don't ignore. Go get tested, and the life you will save is yours.
Pacific Athletics would like to thank Bank of Stockton for their generous support. Bank of Stockton, a proud partner of Pacific Athletics. Bottom of the 4th, here at Klein Family Field. Jeff Dominic, thank you all very much for joining us here tonight. As the Tigers are coming up, we'll see the 5, 6, 7 hitters. And the luck has switched over to the Tigers a little bit, getting out of the top half of this inning after a leadoff double by Aguilar, followed by a walk by Olson, bringing Miles Haddad in relief, and then a strikeout by Haddad and a 1-6-3 double play ended that threat. We'll see the 5, 6, and 7 hitters. It'll be Halstead as he looks in at a 1-0 and called for strike 1, so it'll go to 1-1. And then it'll be Koisian and Mejia. A swing and a miss there for a strike 2. Halstead reached on a walk in the first. That was an inning that the Tigers had a big threat and just fell unlucky. Here's the 1-2. That is low, ball 2. We'll give you Hansen's numbers here in just a moment as his day was done after the 3 innings. He struck out 2, gave up 2 hits. Here's the 2-2 lifted into towards the second baseman. Second baseman playing away, and he drops it. He lost it. I would say he lost it in the sun, and that'll be an error on the second baseman.
Number 9, McKay Kosian.
And Halstead gets a little lucky because that was I wouldn't say that's always a sure out, but I would believe that would be a regular play that a second baseman would make, and I would say that Van Blake would typically make that play, and I would think that he must have lost it in the sun as the shadows are starting to creep around the first base line, and it brings up McKay Kosian, the senior left fielder. First pitch to him is a check swing, and asking if he went around is the catcher Diaz, and no go. But that's unfortunate there. That's the second error of the evening for the Aggies. That one will be E4. There's the 1-0, and that one is in there for a called strike right on the outer half. Kosian getting his 3rd start of the season. A swing and a miss there to go to 1-2. On deck, Joey Mejia. And should the inning get extended, it would be Carter Hayes. There's the 1-2, and that's outside, ball 2. For Matt Blaze, he's gone through 3 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, no strikeouts, has given up 2 doubles. Here's the 2-2. A swing and a miss, strike 3. His first strikeout of the evening, and there's 1 away.
The catcher, number 13, Joey Mejia.
And I'll bring up Joey Mejia. He flew out to right in the second inning. Batting .250 on the season. Getting his regular Tuesday start. Here's the first pitch to him, a curveball, and Mejia was well out in front of that one. And swinging away, strike 1. This is his 10th start of the season. Sophomore from Live Oaks, California. The 0-1 is in the dirt, ball 1. And he's following in a little bit of the brothers' footsteps. The former second baseman for the Tigers who graduated out, the senior Luis Mejia, as the 1-1 is popped into foul territory down the right field line, and that will reach the seats to go to 1-2. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th, no score. Although there has been multiple threats by both teams. Check the runner back at first. It gets away, and that will move Halstead over to second. And now a runner in scoring position with 1 out. And a good spot for Joey Mejia. As Plushko will go ahead and have a little conversation with Blaze. And Mejia now looking at a 1-2 pitch, but now a runner in scoring position. The righty looks in from the first base side. Here's the 1-2 inside, ball 2. The 2-2. That's low, ball 3. I said Haddad struck out that batter in the fourth inning, top of the fourth, to get the first out. He actually flew out to center, did Anderson, and then the 1-6-3 double play. So Mejia looking in. He steps in. Here's the 3-2 by the righty. That is chopped over to the shortstop. Mejia is going to go ahead and try and run into first, but a good throw by Plushko, and he will throw it over to first, and he will get that runner at first. Moving back to second was Halstead. So a 6-3 throw out. It brings up Carter Hayes with 2 outs here and a runner at second. Right-handed batter digs in. Righty versus righty matchup. As Blaze on the first base side of the mound will actually step off. Actually, Hayes will kind of come out of the batter's box as he's actually now going to have to just wait a little bit longer. Diaz and Blaze will go ahead and have a little conversation. And that conversation is now over, and Diaz will set up the defensive alignment before stepping back into the crouch. And now Hayes will step back into batter's box. Blaze in the stretch. Here's the first pitch to Hayes. And that swung on down the left field line, and that will just go foul past the third base bag. Michael Rubenkamp, the assistant coach, was already waving. He thought that was going to be close, but it probably missed by about 1.5 feet. Blaze taking a lot more time than he did in the previous innings, as the 0-1 misses outside, ball 1, maybe a little low. That was a good pitch by Matt Blaze. Blaze looking in the 1-1. He is absolutely taking a lot more time than he did last time. In fact, enough so that Hayes actually stepped off for a second. Now he'll dig back in from the right side. Blaze looks in. Here's that 1-1. That is low, ball 2. Halstead does not have a stolen base on the season, so I wouldn't think that being the threat is why Matt Blaze is taking his time, but he is taking a lot longer than what he has in the first 3 2/3. Here's the 2-1, and that is lifted into right field, but that will go into the seats, and it'll go to 2-2. Matt Blaze from, once again, Half Moon Bay, California. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. No score between the UC Davis Aggies and the Pacific Tigers as the 2-2 is swung on and missed, strike 3. So Blaze gets his first 2 strikeouts of the evening, and that was in this inning. So we will head to the top of the 5th. No score here at Klein Family Field on the Tiger Digital Network.
Statistics show that there are more than 500,000 homeless people in the United States. 500,000 who will not have a roof over their heads, not have a warm bed to fall asleep in, and not know where their next meal will come from. Over 2,000 of them live in our backyard of the greater Stockton area in San Joaquin County. Few are aware of their struggles. The Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity at the University of the Pacific and Stockton Mayor Michael Tubbs will be holding a homelessness awareness event from April 12th through the 14th. During this time, the men of Pike will be experiencing the life of a homeless person by sleeping outdoors, only receiving food by donation, and raising money for local shelters and food banks. Mayor Tubbs will be speaking to the school and addressing this issue of homelessness in Stockton. Donations can be made to Pike's Hit of Reality through check, cash, and card. Every dollar raised will go back into your Stockton community so that someone will know that they won't be falling asleep hungry tonight. This message is brought to you by the Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity, Kappa Nu Chapter, and Pacific Tiger Radio.
Hello, son. I'm Dean Rubin from college. Here to invite you to join us this fall.
Me?
You've always wanted to go to college, correct?
Yeah.
Well, here's that invitation you've been waiting for.
Joey, out of bed.
Wake up. You can't dream your way into college. There are actual steps you need to take. For all the steps, visit knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
In the great scheme of things,
Wingstop is the destination when you crave fresh, cooked-to-order wings with bold, layered flavors. For the nearest location, order online. Visit wingstop.com. We have a new pitcher here for the Pacific Tigers. That is number 17, John Bess. Bess, the freshman right-handed pitcher for the Tigers, and this is the first time we've actually had a chance to see him. He has got a 13.5 ERA, but he's only pitched 5 1/3 innings. And also joining me here in the booth is none other than, from the Stockton Record, Thomas Lawrence at Record Preps.
How you doing, Jeff?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Looking forward to see this freshman here. I thought you said Betts at first. I was thinking it's a relative of Mookie Betts, but it's Bess with 2 S's.
Bess, double S-E. So John Bess will step in. He's the third pitcher that the Tigers have used here today. And he will see the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. It'll be Lara, Briggs, and Van Blake. And a little bit of a pitcher's duel as we've kind of starting to get accustomed to that here lately, as the first pitch by Bess is called for a strike right above the knees for strike 1 to Lara.
It's so rare to get a non-conference, one of these midweek non-conference games be a pitcher's duel, because you usually get the spot starters, you get guys getting an inning here or there, and it's hard to really have a defensive kind of game when you got a new pitcher every inning. That's just the way it goes.
The 0-1 actually hits Lara, a curveball that just kind of did not come inside, or just came too far inside. So that'll put Lara at first and brings up Briggs.
Probably just jinxed it.
Yeah. Briggs grounded out to a 6-4-3 double play. That was in the second inning. Batting .270 on the season.
Yeah, the last time we were in the booth here together was Fresno State, I think 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that was 11-10, 12-11. It was a football score like that. An exciting ending, the walk-off from Preston Movius, though.
Oh, absolutely. I remember that you mentioned that. Yeah, it was a fantastic moment by your number 9 hitter as Briggs steps in from the right-hand side. First pitch is underway, and it's in for a strike 1.
A great moment. Movius crushes one. It didn't go out, but I think it was technically a single or maybe a double. And he's near second base, and he sees his 30 or so teammates sprinting at him, and must have just felt like the Baltimore Ravens defense was coming at him, because he turned around and hightailed it into the outfield to save himself.
Well, when you're headed up by somebody like Danny Mayer as the 0-1 misses up high for ball 1. Danny Mayer was probably one of the first people that went over there to congratulate him, but Danny Mayer is standing, 6'3", 6'4".
Lumberjack.
Yeah, he's a big kid, 6'5", actually, 245. And I think that when you compare him to somebody like Preston Movius, who stands at 6'1", not much of a big difference as the check the runner back at first. Back in time was Lara, but at the same time, that's still scary. He's a big man.
It is. You got him. You got Ryan Schultz over there at first base. Could be a middle linebacker, a strong dude. And if just one person, maybe you can take it. When you got 30, you just kind of crawl into the fetal position maybe and hope you don't get hurt. You've seen people get hurt in celebrations before. It happens. You see a lot of times in Major League Baseball, a guy hits a walk-off, he flips his helmet coming down the third baseline because it hurts even more to get pounded with that thing on. Now you see guys just get rid of it. Remember Johnny Gomes a few years ago punted it into the stands, so people get creative with it.
The 1-1 misses up high, ball 2. But yeah, it's that was probably one of the most entertaining moments I've ever had on the booth, and I've had a few walk-offs. That was probably the one that I lost for words, as that one is fouled back towards us to go to 2-2. That was a pretty entertaining one. Like I said, I wasn't sure if that was going to go out, and I think a lot of people weren't sure if it was going to go out. I remember hearing some other people in the stands saying "get out of here" kind of thing, but it went off the wall, and a good moment for a kid like that.
It was. He's been so valuable for them. Can play a variety of different positions, and not a guy they expected to have a ton of time at the beginning of the year.
The 2-2 is swung on, and we'll go ahead into left field out of the reach of Tarantino. So a hit by pitch, now a base hit, and with no outs, that brings up Van Blake. Van Blake flew out to left field in the third inning, but now with 2 on, that was to lead off the third inning, but now with 2 on and no outs, Van Blake now in a good spot here. And Bess, another one of those extremely tall players. He's probably one of the shorter ones of the freshman crop, as he stands at 6'5". Here's the first pitch, and it was squared around a bunt, and that's a great bunt as Bess will have to go ahead and take it himself, and everyone is safe.
Probably called that a hit. It was kind of out in no man's land. Bess didn't have the best reaction, but usually in those you'll see them reward the guy with a hit. I would think so here.
And I'm just waiting for the official scoring, but I would tend to believe it. Yeah, it is a base hit. So bases loaded and no outs.
I am the official scorer. You didn't know that? I haven't seen a check yet. This is what we get. We talk about a pitcher's duel, a nice tempo. Now bases loaded, no outs.
Well, the Tigers were able to get out of it the last inning with 2 outs, or with runners on first and second and no outs. Now we have runners with bases loaded and no outs here. So the first pitch is swung on into center field. Racing back is Boris. He'll go ahead and a few steps back. He'll make the catch, but tagging on the play will be Lara and Briggs. Both of them will advance. Actually, all 3 of them advance. Van Blake is now standing at second, and the Aggies are able to score first, as it is 1-0 in favor of the Aggies.
I mean, that was deep, and that's why you usually don't see on a sac fly the guy go from first to second. That one hit near the track in center field. I would say about 390 feet. And man, I'd give anything to be able to hit the ball 390 feet just once in my life. That poor guy, a number 9 hitter, hits it 390 feet and it's an out. I guess he gets the RBI though. That's what's important.
Well, yeah, absolutely, and it's not going to be considered as official at bat, even though he does get credit with an RBI. So Plushgold comes through, and with 1 out here now, it will be Ryan Hooper. Hooper 0 for 2. Here's the first pitch, and that is just low for ball 1. Grounded out to the shortstop in the first inning, and then lined out to the shortstop in the third. So the favorite target for Hooper, obviously, right now is the shortstop. And looking at a 1-0 pitch by Bess. Here's the curveball that hooks just above the knees, strike 1. Perfect pitch, and probably close to a perfect spot there. But I joked around about the pitching, the freshman pitchers around here. They all stand almost. I mean, if you're not 6'4" or above, you're not a pitcher for head coach Mike New. Another curveball in there for strike 2.
Yeah, they got a lot of height in there. Lackey's pretty tall. I mean, I guess he's a senior now, but Leiden kind of towers over me too, and I'm relatively tall. He's 6'5". Strange to see him with short hair this year. I used to, got used to the blonde locks the last couple of years, and he reined it in this year. At least the last time I saw him. They might be flowing again. I don't know.
We've all been waiting to see him back on the mound. Here's the 1-2, and that just high for ball 2.
Yeah, a tough year for the veterans on this team. You feel for especially Leiden, the senior, having a shortened season. Of course, Nate Verlin's had injury problems too. Danny Mayer. This is still a transitional year for Pacific. Perhaps not that first postseason run that everyone loves so much, but certainly it doesn't help to have so many key veteran guys either injured or not playing at 100%.
The 2-2 is lined into left field. McKay Koisian on the dive. He makes the catch. Throw on to second, but it will not be in time. A run will score, but what a play by McKay Koisian. They'll check the third and making sure that Briggs tagged up, which he did, says the third base umpire. But it's 2-0 in favor of the Aggies.
Number 4, Alex Aguirre.
And scoring once again Briggs, so 2-0 Aggies. And great play, and that may have actually played it too if Koisian does not make that play. So credit Hooper with an RBI, and Alex Aguilar will be up as the first pitch gets behind Mejia, and running on the play was Van Blake. He'll reach third as it goes 1-0.
A little disappointing for some Stocktonians here tonight. One of the players on UC Davis, Jacob, I'm spacing on the first name, I think Jacob Thomas from Delta College in Bear Creek, but he's not in the lineup, and I heard word over Twitter that he has a pulled hamstring. He's one of the consistent starters for this group, and it was going to be interesting to see his homecoming, but wasn't to be. I think he got hurt last week.
Aguilar was squaring around the bunt. It fouled off his body and goes to 1-1. Yeah, one of the guy that you're right, and I think I happened to see that tweet off of your Twitter, and I was kind of looking forward to that. I forgot all about that. He had went to UC Davis.
He did, and one of those guys who was really honed by Delta College, such a strong program that creates a ton of excellent Division I players. I mean, you see some former Delta guys working their way through the minor leagues now. Colin Thoreau, the catcher, Cameron Leaper, the pitcher, and Dean Kramer, the pitcher who's in the Cal League with Rancho Cucamonga. So, as seeing it firsthand, Delta really turns out a lot of quality guys, professional caliber guys like that.
Oh, absolutely. And there's a couple other guys that may have a good future in there too, like Carlos Mosley, guys like that have done such a wonder of their sophomore years. The 1-2 is swung on over to the shortstop, Tarantino. He'll backhand it, throw to first, and that'll end the inning. So the Aggies were able to get 2, but we will head to the bottom of the 5th as the Aggies lead 2-0 on the Tiger Digital Network.
Raise your hand if you like 3 steps.
Want to fight childhood asthma? Then fight it with a scrub brush and a hot soapy towel. Even in the neatest and tidiest homes, if there's so much as a crumb to eat or a drop to drink, household pests like bugs and mice will do all that they can to get it. And they're more than just a nuisance for kids with asthma, because they can actually trigger an asthma attack. So, sweep up crumbs, wipe down tables, scrub dishes before they pile up in the sink, and store leftovers in plastic bags or bowls. Don't leave bugs and mice so much as one tidbit or nibble, and you can stop a childhood asthma attack before it starts. Discover other simple ways to prevent an asthma attack. Call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS or visit noattacks.org, because no child should feel like a fish out of water. A public service message brought to you by the U.S. EPA, the Ad Council, and this station.
Pacific Athletics would like to thank Chase Chevrolet for their generous support. Chase Chevrolet, a proud partner of Pacific Athletics. We head to the bottom of the 5th. The Aggies leading 2-0. Jeff Dominic along with none other than Thomas Lawrence from the Stockton Record.
Good to be here, my friend.
As always, we're glad to have you here. And we will see the 9-1-2 hitters as the first pitch to Kevin Sondry is low for ball 1. It'll be Sondry, Boris, and Tarantino. And then, of course, if this inning should get extended, it'll be the big threat, James Free, as the 1-0 is called for strike one.
We mentioned the Fresno State game here a couple weeks ago. One of Fresno State's proud alumni, Aaron Judge, the New York Yankees, also from Linden around here. Have you been following his amazing trajectory at all this season? It's something crazy for San Joaquin County, and especially from a small, proud town like that. It's pretty incredible.
Who hasn't at this point? If you like baseball, I think you all know who Aaron Judge is, and if you're from the Stockton area or Linden area, you definitely know who that is. The 2-1 is swung on over to the shortstop on a backhand plush goal. He's going to go ahead and actually kind of bounces off his glove, but I think safe would have been the speedy Kevin Sondry, the good speed Kevin Sondry.
What's amazing about Judge, too, besides the fact that he's 6'7", 280 with 0% body fat, which is just not human. If there's one person you never need to worry about for performance-enhancing drugs, it's him, because he's just naturally built like a transformer. One of the things that's amazing about him just as a person is how good he is with the media already. He deflects questions like Jeter, and he's still in the infancy of his career. I mean, that's a huge asset just for your own well-being, I think, as a professional athlete. And I think that'll really serve him well. And, it comes from his roots. No one has anything but kind things to say about him who's from Linden. Another example, not to go off on a tangent, but another example of why specialization, for baseball players isn't a great thing. There's a guy who played football and basketball. He was first team all area in all three of those for us. So, it keeps you athletic and it keeps you fresh to do that. You can be the major league leader in home runs without spending all year only playing baseball. Step off of my soapbox.
Jimmy Borst is up.
I tripped on the way down.
He had a 1-1 coming up. He'll dig back in. The left-handed batter, the senior, steps back in to take on Matt Blaze. Here's the 1-1, and that swung on, lifted into left center field, racing after it. Looks like Aguilar it'll be Anderson will call him off and will make the catch for out number one. No, Aaron Judge is probably, and I happen to see you actually were doing something with Linden high school baseball. I think you have a story come out either today or tomorrow on them and what their accomplishments have been going through so far.
Yeah, they're the outright league champions, so just a great year for them in general with their alumnus doing what he is. And it was fun talking to one of their relief pitchers yesterday, who's about 5 inches shorter and literally half the weight of Aaron Judge. And he grew up in Linden, this kid, Race Giesing. I said, what do you remember? And he just said he was big.
He was big.
And he still is big, even compared to full-grown major league guys. So we had that come out today. And hopefully on Thursday, I got a story about Linden's former coach, Joe Piombo, who actually coaches Venture Academy, a small school in Stockton. He was Judge's high school coach, and he'll talk a little bit about Aaron and what he thinks about him, and just kind of his career in general. Sorry, I almost had to pick off at first base there.
Well, Blaze is really focused on Kevin Sondry, and he's done this pickoff move. This is probably the third pickoff attempt towards Sondry, and he did that to Matt Tarantino when Tarantino was standing at first. Eventually got him. So he looks like he's trying to do that again. Here's the first pitch to Tarantino, a swing and a miss, as Tarantino looked like he was trying to tie this game up in one swing. But as we know, when Tarantino hits one, he hits one far. So he's 1 for 1 today. He had a base hit and a walk. Matt Tarantino, the junior, transferred from College of the Marin, the JC level college, and having a very successful year at the shortstop position.
We got Tarantino from Marin, and we got Schultz from Marin too. Is that right?
And we also have Shelby Lackey, who's also from College of Marin.
No, Lackey's from Linden. Lackey, I think Cooper Cassad, maybe.
I'm sorry, I think you're right.
I only know that because I covered Lackey in high school.
Yeah, Lackey's from Linden. I think you're absolutely right. I just think I've went flip-flopped my ideas.
And it's funny because Delta College baseball got another home series, the Super Regional, after they beat Skyline last week, and they host College of Marin this week. So not a bad time for Mike News and assistants to kind of hop over and say, hey, Marin guys, you can really play baseball. A few more of you, please come here.
Yeah, you have 3 on this team, and it's just actually you're right. It was Cooper Cassad. Check back to first once again, as I don't know where I got the Shelby Lackey one from. We
were just talking about Linden, I think. That's why. You have Linden on the brain.
Yeah, there you go.
Great name for a band, by the way.
1-1 is on the way, and that is swung on down the left field line. That will hook foul, as that was 317 all over it. As we see 4 kids going to go ahead and race after 5 now. So
5. We got the kid with the hooded sweatshirt in the back got a late start, but he's making a late charge. It's like the Kentucky Derby inside track. I wish we knew names. We could do play-by-play, but it's too far gone now. Great premonition there on Tarantino. You mentioned when he gets a hold of one, he hits it hard, and sure enough, hits it about 315 feet foul there.
So now he looks in with a 1-2 pitch. Blaze, the right-handed pitcher, deals the 1-2, and that is lifted into the seats down behind right field, behind the Aggies dugout, and that will remain 1-2. So far, it looks like Tarantino's on him. Blaze has pitched effectively, I think is the best way to really say it. He hit 2 batters so far. He's walked 2, struck out 2, given up 2 doubles, but through 4 1/3 has not recorded and he's not given up a run. So here's the 1-2, and that is up high to go to 2-2.
You might have already mentioned this beginning of the broadcast, but last week Pacific goes to Tallahassee, plays 4 games against Florida State. They were in a couple of them. They were swept in the series, but I'm thinking, if this works out like Mike New wants it to, maybe you have these guys who are freshmen now, like Free, who are competing for maybe in the playoffs 2 or 3 years from now, or at least thinking about it. That'll be an experience they can draw on, a 3,000-mile trip, playing an SEC team, certainly, or almost certainly bigger crowds than they usually see here. I think people might not really get the significance of that trip in the present moment, but I think down the line, that'll be one of those little experiences that builds his first recruiting class into a really solid group.
Well, absolutely, as the 2-2 is fouled back. And, one of his recruiting classes is Ricky Reynoso, who's actually turned around a phenomenal year. The 2-2 is actually checked runner back at first. And, you talked about the reality of that they were in a few of these games. There is no doubt in my mind that the Tigers could have came out of Tallahassee 3-1. I mean, they lost 5-3 in 2 of those games. They lost 9-8 in another game. There was one game that got way out of control. And other than that, it could have been 2-2. It could have been 3-1. But unfortunately, the Tigers, it's still the learning curve that the Tigers are getting. There are a lot of young guys that are still catching into this. But I think you're absolutely right. Here's the 2-2, and that will also be fouled back. So Tarantino fouling off quite a few of these, and that's probably the 4th straight foul ball that Tarantino has hit to remain at 2-2. But absolutely, I think that right now, I think the common fan or the regular fan looks at the record, but I think the reality of seeing what they're starting to put together is to check the runner back at first once again, and that was Sandri still at first. But there's still, I think there's that learning curve is starting to come around. I just once again check the runner first by Blaze. But it's the old cliche: trust the process, and it'll come through.
Yeah, talking to the athletic director here, Ted Leland, after they hired New, he kind of had the realization that this hasn't been a consistent winner in quite a while here, and he was going to give Mike New time to build and not try to quick fix everything in terms of producing a winning team. And I think you can see the early stages of it so far. I think it's good that it's not a job that has a win in 2 years or go kind of thing. You mentioned these freshmen. These freshmen might not even be the group who are the first ones to push for the playoffs. Maybe not. Maybe they're just kind of part of a long process. In baseball itself, you see just how long it takes to get to the big leagues for some guys. It's a sport that develops really slowly. But you got to have seasons like this where you take your lumps and you kind of learn.
Speaking of lumps, Diaz took one that looked like off the helmet, and he's nicked up a little bit. Diaz, the catcher for the Aggies, and the athletic trainer out there taking a look at him and making sure he's okay. Tarantino fouled one right off of it. Looked like right off the face mask. So in the game stays Diaz, and a little bit of an ovation by this crowd here. But one thing I did mention, and I'm firmly standing behind it, is I think that, and of course I'm saying this as my own opinion and no one else's, is that I think James Free is definitely the WCC Freshman of the Year. I mean, it has to be. I mean, I haven't really seen anybody to show me wrong. Here's a 2-2, and that is also fouled back and remains 2-2.
Yeah, a solid catcher, a guy who's probably only going to get better defensively, and a bona fide middle of the order hitter already. Freshman catcher, that's just a coach's dream, especially for Mike New as a pitcher, a former pitcher, a guy who can appreciate that kind of thing. They're few and far between.
So this is a very lengthy at bat, as we'll see the 2-2 here. And that is swung on into left center field. Racing after it is Anderson. He will look up, and it's off the wall. Racing over to home, from first to home, is Sondre. There will be no play. Actually, there will be a play. Throw on to home. No, not in time, and it'll be 2-1. Tigers cut in this deficit.
What a superb at bat by Tarantino. Long at bat is an understatement. I don't have the total pitch count there, but I'm pretty sure the sun
10
sank
pitches.
a little further in the sky. I think the shadow pattern changed on the field. I have this beard that I didn't have when Tarantino came to the plate. But it ends with a double off the wall. Now you got Tarantino as a potential tying run on second base. And, I mean, that's just a coach's dream, the 10-pitch at bat, RBI double. I mean, that's kind of perfect in every way.
Yeah, 10 pitches, and 6 of them were fouled off, including 5 straight, in fact. And it brings up James Free and a little conversation on the mound. So the first runner that, or I would say the first run given up by Matt Blaze. Blaze has pitched absolutely well today. 4 1/3, five hits, 1 run, and 1 earned. He had a little bit of control issues in the first couple of innings, but really settled down after that and put things in his favor. Come out here with the lead, and now the Tigers answering right back with a run at least of their own to bring up James Free.
He is a little surprising they haven't done the midweek go to the pin thing quite as much as Pacific, but like you said, he's pitched very well thus far.
The 0-1 is outside for ball 1, and you know it was funny because we made a trip to San Jose for the San Jose State game. We were over there in San Jose, and they used 11 pitchers. San Jose State did.
Oh, 5-hour game?
Roughly. Check the runner back at first or second. The 1-0 is on the way, and that's outside, ball 2. Yeah, that was and the Tigers, they had 6 of their own, but so you had 17 pitching changes throughout that game. And Kyle Ostrowski, I remember, started that game, did not get through the first, and wound up having Miles Haddad came in and pitched, I believe, 3 innings of relief, and that was a long night, my friend.
I can imagine.
Second baseman Van Blake came over to talk to Blaze for a second after throwing that last ball. Here's the 2-0 by the righty. That is a swing and a miss, strike 1, and that could have been 3-0. And now that'll put a conversation with Diaz, the catcher for the Aggies, knowing that. And back to kind of what I was talking about, James Free. I mean, the freshman is batting .340 now, over .340. He's got 12 home runs. He's driven in 44 RBIs. He leads the team in home runs. It's hard for me not to throw out that argument that he should be thrown out there as the WCC Freshman of the Year, or at least the Offensive Freshman of the Year, or however they want to categorize it. So as he looks in with the 2-1, that is outside, ball 3. And in fact, here I'm going to grab my little stat because I was looking at something here just a minute ago, and yeah, Free now. Well, of course, he leads the team, but this is in the last 28 games he's done this. He's got a .740 slugging, 5 doubles, and has driven in 33 in those 28 games. 3-1 pitch is underway, and that's outside, ball 4.
That's the kind of thing, if you have a senior preseason first-team all-conference guy, that's what you expect from them. For Free to come out of nowhere and do that is, I don't think anyone would have expected that, even probably himself to that level or Mike New.
And that will bring up the head coach. Will come up and have a little visit. No signal to the mound yet, or to the bullpen yet. But it's funny because I was talking to Lucas Halstead, and I asked him. I said, "Hey, James is," and this was probably about 4 weeks ago, and I said, James is absolutely phenomenal. What did you guys ever expect that? And he goes, "You know what? I'll sit here and honestly tell you no, but we love every minute of it." So pitching has changed, is on the horizon. We'll go ahead and step aside with runners on first and second with 1 out. Tigers trail 2-1 on the Tiger Digital Network.
So, which one's yours?
The one at bat.
Oh, that's okay, Chris.
Only my kid could strike out in T-ball.
Oh, run, Chris, go!
Looks like he's having some trouble running. Oh, he's wandering way off the baseline.
It's like he can't see.
Oh my gosh, his helmet is too big.
It's as big as a bucket.
You know, I must have gotten him an adult one. What was I thinking?
You're out!
Oh.
When safety equipment doesn't fit, it's game over. That goes for your kid, too. If they're too big for a car seat, that doesn't mean they're the right size for an adult safety belt. If they're under 4'9", they need a booster seat. It raises them up so the safety belt fits properly. And the right fit makes all the difference to their future. To learn more, visit www.boosterseat.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
How can we help prepare our kids for the future? Hi, this is Roger McGuinn. These days, our children face challenges unimaginable to us only a generation ago. We adults need to help our kids find something in school that really sparks their interest and keeps them involved. If that something happens to be music, the child will benefit in so many ways. Playing music in school is a great way to make friends. Studies are showing that kids involved in music are less likely to get into trouble. And kids who studied music find science and math easier to grasp. They tend to score higher on SATs. It has something to do with something called spatial IQ. So get your kids involved with school music. It's a great way to help prepare them for life.
A PSA brought to you by MENC, the National Association for Music Education, and the National Anthem Project, the campaign to restore America's voice through music education. Music, part of a sound education.
Everybody needs clean water, especially Ariel the Little Mermaid and all her friends under the sea.
Flounder, hurry up!
And no matter where you live, what you do above the ocean affects all the living creatures below it.
Scuttle, look what we found!
Human stuff, huh? To keep our oceans clean, recycle, and dispose of trash properly.
Isn't it fantastic?
To learn what you can do, go to keepoceansclean.org. This has been a message from Environmental Defense, the National Marine Sanctuary Foundation, NOAA, and the Ad Council.
New pitcher on the mound for the UC Davis Aggies, Jeff Dominic, along with Thomas Lawrence from the Stockton Record joining us here. Thank you all very much. And we will see the left-handed pitcher, Chris Brown, making an appearance, 1-4 on the season as he digs in to take on Ryan Schultz, the right-handed batter. The first pitch he sees is lined into left center field. Racing on home is going to be Tarantino. On to third is going to be James Free. Schultz digging in for two. He will be out at second. But a run does score, and it's 2-2 here in the fifth.
2 RBIs in the inning for College of Marin.
That's true. That is true. Can't even deny it. But a base hit by Schultz. He's out at second, and the Tigers tie this back up. Tarantino scores, and Free all the way to third. And Lucas Halstead digging in. Here's the first pitch to Halstead, and that's on the outside corner for strike one. The 0-1 is swung on in over to the third baseman, Briggs. He'll throw on to Lara at first, and that'll end the inning. But the Tigers come alive. The Bats come alive. They plate 2. We head to the top of the 6th. All tied up 2-2 here on the Tiger Digital Network.
That's how the contest works. In a moment, Louie's going to play a clip of a song. If you think you correctly identify the name of the song.
Some look up to the Man of Steel and others follow the lines in the web. But I look up to my real-life icon, my dad, and calling him anything less than great would be misguided. In his warm arms, I confided all of my fears. And as my time to rear others grows near, I'm reminded that women marry men just like their fathers. And I hope that's true. Anything less, might as well not even bother.
A message from the National Fatherhood Initiative, the Ad Council, and this radio station. Visit fatherhood.org for more information. Have you been a dad today?
What does freedom of speech mean to me?
I don't know. I've never really thought about it.
Freedom of speech means I can speak out against the majority.
It means I can express my opinion freely.
It's the American dream.
It's the First Amendment.
It means everyone has a voice. I guess freedom of speech is more than a right. It's a responsibility.
A message from the National Association of Broadcasters, Education Foundation, and this station.
In 1805, Lewis and Clark described in their journals a country teeming with wildlife.
Bison as far as the eye can see. Rivers churning with fish.
They wrote of scenes of endless beauty and of meeting more than 100 nations of American Indian, whose lives were one with our environment. Now, imagine what Lewis and Clark and the American Indians they met would say if they walked the trail today. Would they be pleased?
There are herds of homes where the buffalo once roamed.
Or would they feel differently?
Something must be done to save what's left of this great place.
As we commemorate the Lewis and Clark Bicentennial, we encourage you to consider what's been lost and what we can do to preserve what's left of the trail that still winds through us all. Walk with Lewis and Clark and see what you discover at www.lewisandclark200.org.
This is a public service message of the National Council of the Lewis and Clark Bicentennial, the Missouri Historical Society, and the Ad Council.
Jordan Gonzalez will come in to pitch here in the top of the 6th inning for the Tigers. Jordan Gonzalez, the senior righty from the Pittman product from Turlock, California, will step in, and they pitcher that I always kind of talk about has the herky-jerky kind of movement, which actually, as far as his motion goes, but has really toned things down over the last couple of years, I would say. His junior year, after he strained his lower back, he wound up really pulling things back together. So we'll see what he can do here in the top of the 6th. Before we get to that 6th inning, we want to remind you that the Scholarshare Tiger Pack is back. For just $40, you can get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 sodas to any Pacific baseball game. It's the baseball best value in town. For more information about the Scholarshare Tiger Pack, head online to pacifictigers.com/tigerpack. Jeff Dominic in here. Thank you all very much for joining us. And along with me is Thomas Lawrence. We'll see the 3, 4, 5 hitters. It'll be Olson, Anderson, and Diaz.
Good to be here. And that 5th inning lasted roughly the length of the first 4 innings, so I must bring some kind of magical long baseball game curse every time I come in here.
I know. Well, you always set it up to make it entertaining. That's always for sure.
I do my best.
First pitch is in there for a strike to Olson. Olson 0 for 1 in his 2 plate appearances. He walked in the 4th. And it'll be Olson, Anderson, and Diaz. Make a little story about Gonzalez here in just a moment, as the 0-1 is chopped foul towards the Aggie dugout to go to 0-2. And I've said this probably a few times on the broadcast, but I don't know if Thomas has heard this one yet, and that being for Gonzalez, his motion, as well, we'll actually wait for the 0-2. His righty deals, and that's up high, ball 1. Did I ever tell you about how his motion has come about to where he has that little bit of a herky-jerky style?
No, I've not heard that story.
So he went out in front of some scouts, and his coach told him just throw it as hard as you can.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, that's where the motion has come about.
Interesting.
The 1-2 is low and inside, ball 2. So between him and Lucas, I've been able to be fortunate enough to have a good relationship with them too, because they've actually done a little bit of broadcasting on their own. So
very cool. I remember Gio Brusa and JJ Wagner, when they were underclassmen here, had a sports radio show together. I wish I could find some archived copies of that. I think Gio is too nice to criticize any other athlete, though, and whether he's met him or not.
Gio Brusa, the longtime standout here at Pacific, now going through the San Francisco Giants organization, going now actually currently at San Jose Giants, as the 2-2 is underway, and that is taken low and actually skips away from Mejia to go to 3-2. Gio. I still to this day remember his last game here as some of these seniors are winding up one of their last 2 games. Here's the 3-2. That is lifted into right field. Halstead looking up. He'll give it a run. Reaches out and makes the catch. Olsen gave it a ride, but all it is a long out number one. And that I had to hold my breath for a second on that one, because that was hit hard.
I mean, it's a high fastball, authoritative swing, and just the noise from the crowd. I thought it was a good 10 feet gone, and then just kind of lands in the glove out there.
The wind is not blowing too hard. It actually kind of more blowing to left than it is blowing anywhere.
Probably knocked it down just a little bit.
First pitch is outside to Anderson. Anderson 0 for 2 today. He flew out to center in the fourth and struck out in the second. I don't know why, but it's such a common name, Ryan Anderson. I just think that I know him from somewhere. Here's the 1-0, a swing and a miss as Gonzalez took a little bit off of that one. So I shouldn't say I know this Ryan Anderson. I probably know one or the other ones. And there's also a Ryan Anderson that plays basketball as well, and I think he plays for the Houston Rockets, if I'm not mistaken.
He does, who just lost on a buzzer beater to Manu Ginobili. Twitter is telling me.
The 1-1 is fouled over to the Aggie dugout to go 1-2. Well, but Manu is Manu. I mean, what more?
I think he's 67 years old, but he's still getting it done. It's funny, I just saw some highlights of their old playoff series with the Suns, 12, 13 years ago, and he's got this beautiful full head of hair. Now, not much now, but he's still hitting buzzer beaters in the playoffs, so he is an Argentinian hero.
Absolutely. Well, he's a San Antonio hero too, but
yes, so he's good enough to be a national hero.
The 1-2 is going down the right field line. Schultz will give it a little bit of a run, but that'll go into the grassy area into right field. Look like I don't know if that was I'll just say a young man makes a little bit of a dive and then kind of flips the ball out to one of the other kids. So wearing the backwards hat, if you can see Thomas, I can.
I can see. Yeah, it's hard to tell his age.
Carter Hayes, he'll throw on to second, over on to first. 5-4-3 double play ends the inning. So the error does not hurt the Tigers, and we'll head to the bottom of the fifth, 2-2 on the Tiger Digital Network.
Hi there, this is Sammy Hagar here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. Now, style's a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody else's business. Please plan ahead. Designate before you celebrate, because friends do not let friends drive drunk.
A public service message brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Some people still don't believe that secondhand smoke is dangerous. This is Scott Bakula. Did you know that just being around someone who smokes can cause severe lung problems, heart disease, and cancer? But there is something you can do about it. Call for a free booklet from the Will Rogers Institute. It clearly explains the proven risks of secondhand smoke and the ways you can avoid exposure. Toll free 1-877-957-7575. Because secondhand smoke is dangerous. Believe it.
We've reached the bottom of the sixth, and Wingstop is the official partner of Pacific Athletics. Skip the wait and order online at wingstop.com. Tigers coming up, we'll see the the 6, 7, and 8 hitters will be Koisian, Mejia, and Hayes. Hayes made a great play to end the inning for the Tigers as he got a hot shot to the hit off to him, and running on the play was Anderson, but was able to get it to the second baseman in time, throw on to first, and a twin-killing 5-4-3 double play. I believe that's actually the third one that the Tigers have been able to convert, and there is a change. It'll actually be Blake Berry will be in for McKay Koisian. Berry, another senior product here for the Tigers. The first pitch is right at the knees for strike one on the inside corner.
Probably just I probably just cursed myself and my deadline, but I just had a thought about that Yankees-Cubs game that went 18 innings the other night.
Don't do it. Don't do it. You know what? You might not be able to leave the athletic department. The first pitch, or the 0-1 is right up the middle for a base hit for Blake Berry. You might not be able to leave the athletic department. I might have to lock you in this booth because this probably be the safest spot for you.
I think you're going to have to IV some water into your body if you're going to announce for 18 innings.
Yeah, exactly. So give a base hit to Blake Berry as he comes through, and that'll put up Joey Mejia. And we would assume that Berry will take over in left after this inning is over. Here's the first pitch to Mejia. He squared around the bunt, pulled it back in time for ball one. We are in the bottom of the sixth. We had an extended fifth inning as it was 4 runs total, 2-2, 2 by UC Davis and 2 by the Pacific Tigers. And that lasted about 45 minutes. Here's the 1-0. Mejia tried to square around the bunt. This time he did, but it went foul to go to 1-1. Carter Hayes is on deck. He's 0 for 2 as well. Squaring around the bunt is Mejia once again. This time he gets it down, but it falls back again. So now interesting situation is he will probably pull it back and this time swing away. And for Blake Berry, he does have a stolen base on the season. Two runs on 4 hits and 3 errors for the Aggies. 2 runs on 7 hits and 1 error for the Tigers. Here's that 1-2. That's outside and high, ball 2. And I was probably say about a week ago or so, and talking about Joey Mejia and how he's a lot taller than his older brother.
Yeah, he certainly is.
2-2, swung on and chopped foul, but I always think that it's just happens to fall that way sometimes. But I only joke in a joking manner because I'm the older brother I'm the older brother and I stand at 5'7" on a good day, and which means I can look Luis Mejia dead in the eye. But my younger brother, he stands 6'1".
Yeah.
I just never understood it. Never understood it to save my life. But
yeah, it fluctuates. Sometimes you're as tall as your grandfather. Sometimes it's your mom's side. It's unpredictable. My parents are 5'9" and 5'6", and I'm 6'3", so go figure.
The 2-2 by Mejia, he swings away and strikes out to bring up Carter Hayes. And the thing I say about Carter Hayes, he sounds like he should be a country musician.
He does. He absolutely does. Strangely, no country music playing as he comes to the plate. That seems inappropriate.
He'll dig in. He's 0 for 2. He flew out to left in the second inning and struck out in the fourth. Check the runner back at first. Does the left-handed Chris Brown in for his second inning of work.
I could also see Lucas Halstead being a country singer.
Yeah, there you go.
Just name-wise. Like James Free is a blues guitarist, I think.
The first pitch to Carter Hayes is a curveball that's in there for strike 1. One out here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Here's the 0-1 to Carter Hayes. That's a chopper over to Plushkill. He'll throw on to second. On to first, well offline. And staying on the bag will be Hayes. So he'll reach on a fielder's choice. I would think they may put it as an error, but I'll wait before I put my foot in my mouth here.
I think when they
may just give him a fielder's choice.
Yeah, I think when you get the out, it's hard to say. I don't think you give an error on that play, but I'm not a.
He didn't advance, so I would assume it's just going to be a fielder's choice. We'll leave it as a fielder's choice, but Hayes will reach first, and that will bring up Kevin Sondry. Sondry 1 for 1. He got hit by a pitch in the second. He ended the second after he got caught stealing as the first pitch is up high, ball 1. So we'll go fielder's choice 6-4, and then he reaches first, does Hayes. Now bring up Kevin Sondry. 1-0 pitch is down low for ball 2. And Hayes, the more I watch him at third, the more impressed I'm becoming, because he did have those learning curves when he came and started becoming the regular starter a couple weeks back. And at third, moving Sondry over to second. Obviously, some of this is just because they needed Nick Iwasa wound up getting hurt, and that's why they needed to that's why we saw Mobius over there waiting for Carter Hayes to get back healthy, as the 2-0 was fouled back to go to 2-1.
Yeah, they've been having to play a lot of Tetris this year with the different moving parts on defense.
Absolutely. So now that's why Sondry's now at second, and Carter Hayes is filled in nicely, but he did have a little bit of a rough patch and a little bit of a learning curve earlier a couple weeks ago. (2-1) is checked back to runner at first. And that was against Portland. I should have known that, but it was against Portland. He had 2 errors on that Friday night. Had one in the Saturday, and then had a clean Sunday game. But he had to learn a little bit on the fly.
Not an easy position to learn on the fly either. Incredibly cliche, but they call it the hot corner for a reason. You don't get quite as much action as shortstop, but your reaction time is just so short. Very difficult, but I'd say, one of the 3 most difficult positions probably to just learn on the fly defensively: shortstop, third, and catcher. I mean, that's very, very difficult in a short amount of time, especially at the Division I level.
The 3-1 is a curveball on the inside corner for strike 2. No, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. Sondry had to do a lot of that on the fly last year, playing the shortstop position. He worked out fairly well, but did have those moments of lapses where he would have 2 innings in a game or something like that. So Carter Hayes is kind of in that same boat. And Sondry, we're seeing a great sophomore season from him, batting .292. As he looks in, waiting on the lefty's pitch by Chris Brown. Brown actually will go ahead and step off, and we will wait for that 3-2. Brown looks the runner at first. Now he'll look in. Here's the 3-2. Runner goes, and it's caught him looking. It's the second time that the umpire has had a late call, but that strikes him out. So Sondry goes down. We'll head to the top of the 7th. Tigers and Aggies tied at 2 apiece here on the Tiger Digital Network.
The Tigers' final home game on Friday, May 19th, as they take on the San Francisco Dons. First pitch set for 6 p.m. Bring a friend and we'll see you here.
My hero doesn't wear a cape or have superpowers. She doesn't slay dragons or kill wizards. No one wants my hero's autograph. She never goes to Hollywood parties, and she definitely doesn't have a star on the Walk of Fame. My hero doesn't try to sell me soda, candy bars, cereal, or cheeseburgers.
You won't hear my hero song on the radio. He doesn't have a crew, bling bling, or a mansion.
You can't buy my hero's makeup line, handmade purses, or designer baby clothes.
My hero didn't win the pennant. She can't do a 360 dunk, and there's no way she'll score a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Some of New York's most admired figures are the city's public school teachers. Just ask one of the millions of kids who learn from these heroes every day. For more information on the most rewarding job you can imagine, visit teachnyc.net. Join New York's brightest. Teach NYC. A public service announcement brought to you by the New York City Department of Education, the Appleseed Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Ever think of light bulbs as being cool? They are if you choose energy-efficient bulbs and fixtures that have earned the government's Energy Star label. They're so hot, they're cool. Because they burn cooled and last up to 10 times longer, you save money and oodles of energy. Change a light, Help the environment. Save some green. The solution is as close as your nearest lamp socket. Brighten your environmental future. From the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency.
Lincoln Center is Stockton's premier shopping and dining destination. Enjoy boutique shopping, our award-winning restaurants, and family-friendly atmosphere. Conveniently located at Pacific Avenue in Benjamin Holt, less than 15 minutes from the University of the Pacific. Visit LincolnCenterShops.com for a list of stores that offer a discount to all UOP students. Lincoln Center, always in style. A couple of defensive changes for the Tigers, as well as a pitching change. Actually, just one defensive change for the Pacific Tigers. And as mentioned before, Blake Berry came into bat in the 6th inning. He will now move to left.
First baseman Alejandro Lara.
And Ryan Shreve, another talented freshman for head coach Mike New. That freshman standing at 6'6", 197 pounds from Sherman Oaks, California. He will step in to face the 6, 7, and 8 hitters as the first pitch misses low for ball 1. It'll be Lara, Briggs, and Van Blake, and Plushko will come up too if the inning gets extended. The 1-0 is called for strike 1. That one was just below the belt, probably right at the belt, to go to 1-1. Also want to thank Thomas Lawrence for going ahead and stepping in here for a little bit and hanging out with me. Always appreciated. Thomas Lawrence from the Stockton Record. Here's the 1-1. A curveball goes over to Tarantino. Tarantino on the run. Will have to make a throw on the run, and he will get Lara for out number 1. So Tarantino having getting a little bit of work in, as he's been fairly busy here today. And with 1 out here comes Cameron Briggs. Briggs, the third baseman, looks in. The first pitch he sees will chop foul towards the Tiger dugout and actually will bounce off the dugout and kind of head back into the foul territory. And it flipped in to Shelby Lackey. Lackey making a play. Give it to the kid. The 0-1 pitch by Shreve. Squaring around to bunt was Briggs, but he'll pull it back and outside for ball 1. For the Tigers, we'll see the top of the order. It'll be Boris, Tarantino, and Free here in the bottom of the 7th. The 1-1, squaring around to bunt. Shreve will have to make a play. That will give it to Carter Hayes. Throw on to first. It's well away. And heading over to second is going to be the batter, and actually going to be tagged out. Briggs caught by by Kevin Sondry. Tarantino stepped on the bag, tagged the runner Briggs for out number 2. So
number 6, Caleb Van Blake.
It'll be an E5 and then a 4-6 throw out. They are going to make it a base hit. Actually, that's a good. I didn't even think about it because it was. I think Carter Hayes would have. That would have been a tough throw. So it would have been a base hit. And they did put it as a base hit. So a base hit, then a 4-6 throw out as Van Blake was swinging away to move it to 1-1. Throw was offline, but once again, it was. I think Briggs would have beaten the throw and didn't even register as the 1-1 misses outside to go to 2-1. Van Blake, 1 for 2 today. Flew out into the left field and then had a base hit in the 5th as the 2-1 is called for strike 2. A curveball and for Shreve. Shreve is a up-and-coming pitcher. He's 1-5, 6.4 ERA. He's gone through 45 innings. He's struck out 23 opposing batters, but he's got a lot of upside. for head coach Mike New. Here's a 2-2, and a swing and a miss, strike 3. So the Aggies get one aboard, but a good defensive play by the second baseman, Kevin Sondry, able to throw out Briggs, who was trying to stretch it to second, and we will head to the bottom of the 7th. It's stretch time here at Klein Family Field. We'll take a break, and the Tigers coming up here on the Tiger Digital Network.
I know, being a college freshman is supposed to be tough, but let me tell you about my schedule this semester. All 18 credits. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I have American Lit at 8:05 a.m. And then I only have 15 minutes to get to my 9:15 Ethics and Value Theory class all the way across campus. Then in the afternoon, Calculus 1. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have 2 lectures that go through lunch. Sociology of Families, then Intro to Microbiology. Pre-med. And finally, I have a double lab that ends around 9 p.m. Anyway, I just wanted to say thank you.
If a kid will do whatever it takes to get through college, what will you do to send her there? Please support the United Negro College Fund and call 1-800-332-UNCF, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. A public service brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Hello, son. I'm Dean Rubin from college. Here to invite you to join us this fall.
Me?
You've always wanted to go to college, correct?
Yeah.
Well, here's that invitation you've been waiting for.
Joey, out of bed!
Wake up. You can't dream your way into college. There are actual steps you need to take. For all the steps, visit knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
Tigers will have the top of the order as the pitching change by UC Davis has been made. We'll give you him in just a moment, but it'll be Boris, Tarantino, and Free. New pitcher for the Aggies is going to be Connor Lohr, the right-handed pitcher, 4.82 ERA. In 18 2/3, he's 0-1 on the season, giving up 10 runs and struck out 8 opposing batters. He'll face Boris, Tarantino, and Free. So the right-handed pitcher looks in from the stretch to the lefty, Boris. Here's the first pitch, and that's outside, ball 1. And with that home plate umpire, I always got to kind of wait now a little bit because he's thrown a couple of late signals our direction. So always trying to be a little safe. Here's the 1-0. That one is called for a strike. So that one took a little bit of time too. But the home plate umpire, Kenneth Durham, called it a strike right at the knees. Right-handed pitcher set. Here's the 1-1. That is lifted into left center field, or actually left center field, left to left field, but Plushko over to the shortstop, Plushko, and that will be out number 1. A little flare out to the to short, and that will bring up the shortstop for the Tigers. It'll be Matt Tarantino. Tarantino has had a successful day. 2 for 2 in 3 plate appearances. He's doubled, scored a run, and driven in an RBI in the 5th inning. Also had a base hit in the 1st and walked as that first pitch he sees is over to center field. Under it is Aguilar. He'll make the catch for out number 2. So move him 2 for 3. Then F8, and that'll bring up James Free. Free 1 for 1 today, but he has reached in all 3 of his appearances. He walked in the 5th, doubled in the 3rd, and was hit by a pitch in the 1st. And that'll bring Connor Lohr up to face him for the first time. Free will bat from the left side, a switch hitting catcher. The righty in the stretch, he deals, and that is low for ball 1. Schultz on deck should this inning get extended. For the Aggies, it'll be 9-1 and 2. It'll be Plushkill, Hooper, and Aguilar. The 1-0, a swing and a miss for strike one. As Connor Lohr took something off that one, and Free was out on his front foot swinging away. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the 1-1, and that is fouled back to the netting to go to 1-2. The young freshman in a spot, you can only assume that right now it's probably feels like he may be trying to do a little bit too much here, and we haven't put too much pressure on the freshman, but at the same time, this is starting to wind down in the innings, and he may trying to do something more than what he needs to do, and rather than getting a base runner on. Here's the 1-2, and that is a swing and away, and it was dropped by the catcher. He'll throw on to first, and that is out number 3. So the Tigers go 1-2-3. We head to the top of the 8th inning, 2-2 on the Tiger Digital Network.
Hey, enjoy all the fun and excitement of Pacific Baseball with your very own suite, catered by Michael's Pizza.
My name's Rachel, and I'm 10 years old. I like riding my bike, playing soccer, and in 8 years, I'll be an alcoholic. I'll start drinking in middle school, just at parties. My friends will drink, so I will too.
Kids who drink before age 15 are 5 times more likely to have alcohol problems when they're adults.
My parents won't really know what's going on yet. I mean, I'll do okay in school, but when I drink, I'll do some things I don't really want to do. So by the time my parents talk to me about it, alcohol won't be my only problem.
Alcohol affects their judgment and their future, so start talking before they start drinking.
My parents won't believe it could happen to me.
For more information on teens and alcohol, and to learn what you can do, visit the web at stopalcoholabuse.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Ad Council, and this station.
Another new pitcher here for the Pacific Tigers. It'll be Vince Orobio. The senior closer will come in and try and pitch what he traditionally does, pretty much 2 innings. And we've seen him do that fairly often, but in this case, not a save opportunity. This will be either a possibility of getting a win. Orobio, 4.64 ERA. He's 3-4 on the season. 6 saves as well. 33 innings pitched. He's given up 17 runs, walked 17, but struck out 32 opposing batters. He will be facing the 9-1 and 2 hitters. It'll be Plushkill, Hooper, and Aguilar.
The shortstop, number 28, Brad Plushkill.
Brad Plushkill is 0 for 1. He had a sacrifice fly in the 5th inning that drove in a run. It was Lara that wound up scoring off of Plushkill's sacrifice fly into deep center. So Orobio digs in. The first pitch is in the dirt and bounces away from Mejia to go to 1-0. Plushkill, once again, 0 for 1. Batting 172, the shortstop for the Aggies. The 1-0 is swung on down the left field line, and that will hook into foul territory. I'll move to 1-1. I was wondering why Tarantino was taking a jog towards the left field line, but I just realized that a ball fell into play, and he was just clearing it out of the way. So the righty gets set. He deals. The 1-1 is a breaking ball that will go down the left field line, and that will also go into foul territory, but this time have Shelby Lackey looking like he's going to make a nice little run and give it to one of the what looks to be 8 young kids over there, and he'll hand it off. Eventually, there he goes. And now we're just waiting for him to get out of the field to play. And we will wait on the 1-2 to Plushkill. The righty from the first base side swing and a pop fly towards the shortstop Tarantino. Actually, Carter Hayes will call him off, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. So a fly out to third.
Right fielder.
And it brings up right fielder Ryan Hooper. Hooper 0 for 2. Now batting .299. 0 for 2 today. He lined out to left field in a great diving catch by McKay Koisian, who, if he didn't make that catch, probably would have scored one more, but he makes the catch, and a sacrifice fly as the first pitch he sees is over towards the center fielder, Jimmy Boris, who lost it for a second, then made it about 4 steps to his right, makes the catch for out number 2. Looked like he lost it right off the bat. He kind of looked around for a moment. Barry was running over there to help him out, and then eventually Boris got a hold of it and tracked it down, making just a few steps to his right. Brings up Alex Aguilar. Aguilar, the center fielder, is 1 for 3. He had a double in the 4th, but was stranded. As the first pitch he sees is in there for strike 1 on the inside corner, right above the knees. For the Tigers, it'll be 4, 5, and 6 hitters. It'll be Schultz, Halstead, and Barry in the bottom of the 8th. Check swing went around for strike 2. Vince Robio, the talented closer for the Tigers, the career leader in saves for the Tigers program. Looking to hear at an 0-2 pitch. He deals, and a swing and a miss, strike 3. So the Tigers are able to get a 1-2-3 inning out of the Aggies. We head to the bottom of the 8th, all tied up 2-2 here on the Tiger Digital Network.
Enjoy boutique shopping, our award-winning restaurants and family-friendly atmosphere. Conveniently located at Pacific Avenue and Benjamin Holt.
Hi, my name is Aaron, and I'm a survivor of mannequinism. Mannequinism is basically when you turn into a hard plastic shell. They say it's from not being politically active. For me, it started when I didn't register to vote, and then I stopped volunteering, and before I knew it, I wasn't doing anything. And that's when I found the first sign. A small, discolored hard patch of plastic on my right shoulder. I thought it would go away on its own, but it didn't. It kept spreading. And when I could no longer conceal it with a t-shirt, I knew I had to see the doctor. He said I had this early stage of mannequinism and that my only hope was to get involved, even if it was something simple. So I began reading the newspaper and instantly got feeling back in my arm. I guess you could say I'm living proof you can fight mannequinism.
Protect yourself from mannequinism. Log on to fightmannequinism.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Bottom of the 8th inning here. We're all dead even at 2 between the UC Davis Aggies and the University of Pacific Tigers. Jeff, Dominic, thank you all very much for joining us here tonight, as the Aggies are 2 runs on 5 hits and 3 errors, while the Tigers 2 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. We'll see Schultz, Halstead, and Barry, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, to face Connor Lohr as the first pitch is down the left field line and all hook foul to go to 0-1. Schultz 1 for 3. He reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning off of Van Blake's glove, and then had a single in the 5th that wound up scoring Tarantino. Looking at an 0-1 pitch here by Lohr, and that is driven into center field. Racing after it is Aguilar. He'll reach up and make the catch for out number 1. That brings up Lucas Halstead. Halstead walked in the first, reached on an error in the fourth off of a pop fly towards the second baseman, Van Blake. Van Blake has just looked like he lost it in the sun and lost control of it, and then grounded out to the third baseman in the fifth. Laura looks in. Here's the first pitch, and that's driven into right field. Kind of making a few steps back is Hooper. Now he'll race inward, and will make the play. So a 1 pitch, 1 out. And so far through 3 pitches, Connor Laura looking to get a 1-2-3 inning. That brings up Blake Berry. Berry came in the 6th, had a base hit, and then wound up going to left field as a defensive replacement, looking to extend this inning for Joey Mejia. Squared around a bunt, pulled it back, but called strike. For the Aggies, it'll be the 3-4-5 hitters. It'll be Olsen, Anderson, and Diaz. Tigers 1 for 7 in scoring for runners in scoring position, while the Aggies are 1 for 5. Here's the 0-1, and that is lifted into left center field. After it is Anderson, he'll make the catch, and that'll end the inning. 1-2-3, go the Tigers. We'll head to the top of the 9th. All knotted up at 2 here on the Tiger Digital Network.
In a world where your tires are your only connection to the road, one man, 4 tires, free air. An epic battle against underinflation, tire damage, and even tire failure. In the ultimate fight for properly inflated tires, the warrior gives his heart, his soul, to keep those he loves safe on the road. Tires will inflate. Money will be saved. A message from the Rubber Manufacturers Association.
Statistics say that 4 out of 10 high school students will drop out of high school, but sometimes the difference between dropping out and finishing is a boost.
I sort of got messed up into gangs, and this one girl named Maria, she just told me to get my things straight, and ever since then she's been there for me.
10 real-life, at-risk students are filming their year, so you can see what it's really like trying to get through high school. Go to boostup.org to see their stories, and give someone you know a boost, so they can finish. High school is hard. Graduating is harder. Brought to you by the U.S. Army Merit Council.
Vince Arrobio will go ahead and step in for his second inning of work, as he had a 1-2-3 8th inning. So it's not surprising. He will see Olsen, Anderson, and Diaz. Olsen drove one to right in the 6th inning, but Halstead made a good play, and that probably missed a home run by about 6 feet, as he will face Arrobio. Olsen 0 for 2 tonight. Drew a walk in the 4th. As the first pitch is in there for strike 1, and Olsen didn't really seem to care for that one too much. Didn't say anything, but the reaction in the that he gave was not a favorable one. The Olsen, Anderson, and Diaz in this inning. It'll be 3-4-5 to face Vince Arrobio. The 0-1 called for a strike 2. This time Olsen will step out. And that one was a good pitch that Olsen, I think, may have probably thought he should have took that one. But now he's looking at an 0-2 spot. Arrobio's just throwing strikes at this point. Here's the 0-2. That one's in the dirt. Mejia will check the ball, throw it back to Arrobio, and we'll look at a 1-2 pitch. Arrobio right off the center of the mound. Looking at a 1-2, he deals to the lefty, and that is a shot down the right field line. Look out, and that was a rocket. Olson batting .288. 6 home runs on the season, has struck out 34 times. He went around. Did he go? Yes, he did. Strike 3, so a tough at-bat for Olson, and errors 1 away. I thought he went around, but I did wait for the... I actually did not wait. I shouldn't say that, but I assumed, and they did appeal. The third base umpire, Eric Martinez, did say he went around. So a tough at-bat for Olson. That'll bring up Ryan Anderson. Anderson 0 for 3. He reached on an error. That wound up being a double play, or wound up later being a double play by Diaz. But he reached on an error, flew out to center field, and then struck out. He struck out in the second as the 1-0 is lifted into left center field. That will drop for a base hit by Barry. Will gather it. He'll quickly throw it in the infield, and there is a single by Anderson with 1 away.
The catcher, number 16, Ignacio Diaz.
Brings up Ignacio Diaz. Diaz is grounded out into 2 double plays today. Grounded out to a 1-6-3 double play in the 4th and a 5-4-3 double play in the 6th. Both were to end the inning. He also did have a base hit. That was in the 2nd. Reached as far as second base as well. So it's 1 away. Infield at double play depth. A curveball that Ignacio Diaz just watched drop in front of him for strike 1. Diaz does not strike out very often. In 124 at-bats, he's struck out 11 times. 1 home run on the season as that pitch misses low outside for ball 1. Right-handed batter stepping back in the batter's box. Robio in the stretch. He deals. The runner goes. Throw on to second. Not in time as that will skip away. And now there's a runner in scoring position. So for Anderson, that's his 4th stolen base on the season. But now with 1 out, there is a runner in scoring position for Diaz as he looks in at a 2-1 pitch. And Tarantino will go ahead and move over a few more steps to his right now. No longer in the double play depth since it's not needed. And the 2-1 by Robio. A swing and a miss, strike 2. Ilara on deck. He's 0 for 1. Ilara had a walk and a hit by pitch. Later scored. That was in the 5th off that hit by pitch. And then the sacrifice fly by Plushko scored him. Here's the 2-2. A swing and a miss, strike 3, a curveball that Diaz just went completely after, and there are 2 away.
First baseman number 18, Alejandro Lara.
Alejandro Lara digs in, the right-handed batter. Currently at 250 on the season. And as we mentioned, he grounded out to the shortstop in the 7th. Hit by a pitch in the 5th, later came around to score, and it also walked in the 2nd. Big spot here against Vince Robio. Here's the first pitch. That is inside, and Lara almost got hit by that. Moved to 1-0. For the Tigers, it will be 7, 8, 9 hitters. It will be Mejia, Hayes, and Sondri. The 1-0 into the catcher's glove, but swinging away was Lara. It goes to 1-1. So 2 outs here in the top of the ninth. 2-2 game. And the 1-1 by Robio. Off of his glove to Tarantino. He'll have to hurry the throw. He does. He gets it on the first, and that is out number 3. So the Aggies get one, or get a runner on first, a stolen base, gets a runner in scoring position, but are unable to capitalize. We head to the bottom of the ninth. 2-2 here on the Tiger Digital Network.
My name's Rachel, and I'm 10 years old. I like riding my bike, playing soccer, and in 8 years, I'll be an alcoholic. I'll start drinking in middle school, just at parties. My friends will drink, so I will too.
Kids who drink before age 15 are 5 times more likely to have alcohol problems when they're adults.
My parents won't really know what's going on yet. I mean, I'll do okay in school, but when I drink, I'll do some things I don't really want to do. So by the time my parents talk to me about it, alcohol won't be my only problem.
Alcohol affects their judgment and their future, so start talking before they start drinking.
My parents won't believe it could happen to me.
For more information on teens and alcohol, and to learn what you can do, visit the web at stopalcoholabuse.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Ad Council, and this station.
Bottom of the ninth inning here. 2-2 game between the UC Davis Aggies and the University of Pacific Tigers. Jeff Dominic along with you. Thank you all very much for joining us here tonight. And it was scheduled to be the 7-8-9 hitters was going to be Mejia, Hayes, and Sondry. That has already been changed as the first pitch swinging away was Ryan Robards. Robards batting .194 on the season. And I believe Preston Mobius will be following suit as they 0-1 is in there for strike 2. Robards, the left-handed batter, stepping in. Here's the 0-2 by the righty. That's outside, ball 1. The freshman outfielder from Elk Grove, California, looks in. Here's the 1-2 by the righty, and that is pop fly over to center or to the shortstop. Plushko will reach up, make the grab for out number 1. That brings up Preston Mobius. Mobius has had a walk-off hit.
Number 44, Preston Mobius.
Mobius had that walk-off hit against Fresno State, the 12-11 baseball game that in the bottom of the ninth, I believe there was one away when that went through. Here's the first pitch, and that is low, ball 1. Mobius batting .250 on the season in 84 at-bats. He has 21 hits, 8 RBIs, no doubles, no triples. Kind of got robbed on the triple or on the double on that walk-off. Here's the 1-0, and that is fouled. Might get out of the territory. It does, as it lands just on the top of the dugout to go to 1-1. Kevin Sondry is on deck. Should this inning go into extras, it'll be 7-8-9 hitters for the Aggies. It'll be Briggs, Van Blake, and Plushkill. But Preston Mobius looking in. The righty Connor Lohr in his third inning of work as the 2-1 is popped up towards the foul territory for the catcher, and that will land foul actually right in the first row of seats. That's how close it was. And also, should this inning be extended, you would expect Mobius to move over to second, and Sondri will probably go over to third. Should we go to extras? The 1-2 by Lohr. And that is driven into center field, and that may fall for a hit. It does. So Preston Mobius with a base hit. He rounded second. Thought about trying to extend it, but wisely came back. But a looping fly ball to center, playing extremely far back, was Aguilar, and it fell for a base hit.
Correction, second baseman. Number 8, Kevin Sondri.
That brings up Kevin Sondri. Sondri has been 1 for 2 tonight. He had a base hit in the 5th, got caught looking in the 6th, and was hit by a pitch in the 2nd. And with that, as I say that, the whole infield is going to come in along with UC Davis coaching staff. And I still believe that may be, I believe that's Matt Vaughn, the head coach, having a conversation. So whoever came to the ballpark, hopefully you enjoyed your Taco Tuesdays. This was the last one of the year. That mound visit is already done. The Highway 99 rivalry. I could say that about Sac State too, but as the Tigers have been able to face them as well. So Sondri steps in to take on Lohr. The righty on the stretch near the first base side. Here's the first pitch to him. That swung on down the right field line. That will fall foul and that was close. As that started curving, and I wasn't sure if that was going to make it or not. Mobius was on his horse. He was already towards about midway through second and third when that ball finally fell. So, nevertheless, it's 0-1. As Kevin Sondri digs back in on the right side. Looks in. Here's the 0-1 by Lohr, and that is chopped foul to go to 0-2. On deck, Jimmy Boris, should this inning get extended. And if those last two swings are any indication, looks like Sondri is trying to end this one on a base hit or something more, as he was swinging away on both of them. And Lohr looks in from the first base side of the mound. He'll actually step off, and Sondri will get out of the batter's box here for a second. Now he'll dig back in. Mobius 1 for 3 on stolen bases. Here's the 0-2, and that's outside, ball 1. Probably the good pitch right there by Lohr is the way that Sondri was swinging that bat. He wanted to see if he could get a cheap one and kind of sent one up high. So Lohr, here's the 1-2. That is chopped down the left field line. That will actually go towards the first base side. It gets away. It gets away. He's safe. Throwing over to right field will go over to second, and it'll get inside towards the catcher. The right fielder will gather it. Hooper and they're going to say he was safe. I want to say that may be a base hit because that was a tough play, and Sondri is now standing at second. Runner 90 feet away from scoring, and of course, who else would it be but Preston Mobius standing over there at third? Seems to be always around whenever there's going to be a game-winning situation here.
The Tiger center fielder, number 7, Jimmy Boris.
They're actually going to put that as a throwing error by the pitcher. That's the 4th error today for the Aggies. That has to be tough. But just like the Aggies, the Tigers are a young team still finding their roots here. And, as we mentioned, the Aggies, they have only 2 seniors in the lineup. So you can obviously tell that this is a very young ball club, as well as the Tigers. They have 2 seniors. Normally they would have 3. So we'll step aside as we'll get you to the relief pitcher here in just a moment. Tigers and Aggies all tied up 2-2 with the Tigers threatening here on the Tiger Digital Network.
That's the Big Dipper over there, and there's the Little Dipper.
Rub the balloon on your head like this, and then it'll stick to the wall.
Brown shoes, brown belt. Black shoes, black belt.
Pucker your lips, leave a little hole like this, blow out, and that's how you whistle.
And that's why radios don't go near the bathtub.
Glasses, you idiot!
Remember, you're always teaching. Teach carefully. React with rage, and kids will learn it's okay to do the same. Keep your cool, and kids will do likewise. For a few quick pointers, visit actagainstviolence.org or call 877-ACT-WISE for a free brochure.
Well, a cow pie really isn't a pie.
Brought to you by MetLife Foundation, National Association for the Education of Young Children, and the Ad Council.
Hi, my name is Aaron, and I'm a survivor of mannequinism. Mannequinism is basically when you turn into a hard plastic shell. They say it's from not being politically active. For me, it started when I didn't register to vote, and then I stopped volunteering, and before I knew it, I wasn't doing anything. And that's when I found the first sign. A small, discolored hard patch of plastic on my right shoulder. I thought it would go away on its own, but it didn't. It kept spreading. And when I could no longer conceal it with a t-shirt, I knew I had to see the doctor. He said I had this early stage of mannequinism and that my only hope was to get involved, even if it was something simple. So I began reading the newspaper and instantly got feeling back in my arm. I guess you could say I'm living proof you can fight mannequinism.
Protect yourself from mannequinism. Log on to fightmannequinism.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
New pitcher for the UC Davis Aggies. We'll give you that here in just a second. With 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning, Jimmy Boris will come up. We'll see it'll be Zach Stone. 4-2 on the season. 1 save. 3.91 ERA. Has struck out 16 in 23 innings pitched. He'll look in. The infield playing in for Jimmy Boris. He'll actually step out. The entire infield playing in right at the fringe of the infield grass. Here's the first pitch, and that is fouled back. Look out. Hopefully everyone's okay there. It gets out of my view here. So the 0-1 to Boris. That is low for ball 1. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Runners on 2nd and 3rd. Sondri reached on an error by the pitcher, Lohr, reached second, and Mobius hustled all the way from first to third. Here's the 1-1, and that is a chopper over the first base side. That will let that go, and that goes foul, as I almost thought that the first baseman, Lara, might have touched it, but he did a great job of doing kind of like an Olay kind of, because Mobius was tearing down the right field line, or excuse me, left field line, and he may have scored if Lara touched it. It goes to 1-2. Tarantino on deck. Stone looks in from the first base side of the mound. Jimmy Boris, the left-handed batter. Actually, Stone will step off. Now he'll dig back in. Big spot here, bottom of the ninth, 2 on, 1 out. Sondre at second, Mobius at third. Mobius reached on a base hit, looping base hit to center field. Here's the 1-2. That is fouled back once again. Inning started off with Robards just popping out to the shortstop, Plushkull, and then then Mobius stepped in, had a base hit, then a throwing error by the pitcher on a ground ball, or actually a softly hit ground ball, I would say, by Sondre. Here's the 1-2. That's also fouled back. So Boris fouling a few off here. With Mobius' speed, if anything hit to the outfield, might be interesting. Here's the 1-2. Down the left field line. That is a fair ball! Tigers win! Jimmy Boris with the base hit. And they're mobbing him, as this is the second time on a Tuesday that the Tigers walk off. Last time was against Fresno State. This time, the Tigers win 3-2 over the UC Davis Aggies. Go ahead and take a small break. When we come back, it'll be the post-game wrap-up, and I think we already know who we're going to get here. So let's go ahead and take a small break. Tigers win 3-2, and stick around because we'll have none other than Jimmy Boris coming up here, and I'm going to ask him about what happened in the first inning too. But nevertheless, we'll be right back.
The Aggies scored 2 runs on 6 hits, committed 4 errors, and left 4 runners on base. Tonight's winning pitcher is Vince Arubio, whose record is now 4-4. And the loss goes to Connor Orr, whose record is now 0-2. The game time was 2 hours and 52 minutes. For the 482 in attendance, we thank you for joining us here this evening. Be sure to be here again next Friday on the 19th as your Tigers take on San Francisco. Game time is 6 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your evening and please get home safely.
You can't have them first. All right. So back here at Klein Family Field, the final totals: 2 runs, 6 hits, 4 errors for the UC Davis Aggies. for the Pacific Tigers, 3 runs on 9 hits, 1 error. And I can already assume that you will already know who we're going to have here. And that's going to be none other than Jimmy Boris after the little bit of a team gathering. And what an exciting win, as it was kind of funny, and I have no problem saying it now, because at first I think I almost jinxed it. But I kind of went over to some of the athletic department, and I said, Jimmy Boris is going to go ahead and hit a walk-off, and I'll go ahead and talk to him afterwards. And sure enough, hits one down the left field line. So it works out for me, because I think I would have had to find a way to get out the window in order to make this work out. So nevertheless, we'll have Jimmy Boris coming up here in just a moment. But what a fantastic win. We'll go ahead and talk about what happened in the first inning. Kind of got it off to an interesting start as the Tigers, they got a double by Jimmy Boris, who stretched it out to tried to stretch it out to a triple. Got caught on a 7-6-5 kind of relay. Tarantino had a base hit. Free got hit by a pitch, and then Schultz reached on a fielder's choice that almost could have loaded the bases, but kind of caught Free in no man's land, and he wound up reaching first. So with runners on the corners, Halstead walked, and then McKay Koisian wound up grounded out from 3 to went 3-1, and then it was all the way until the 5th inning, and it was an interesting 5th inning when UC Davis came up, and they got hit by a pitch by Lara, a base hit by Briggs. Van Blake moved everybody over with the bases loaded. It put Plushkill up, and he sacrificed to center field with an RBI. And then Hooper had a sacrifice fly to left field, but a great job by McKay Koisian, who wound up making a leaping grab, and that could have been actually extra bases if he does not make that play. So it wound up scoring a run, and then Aguilar wound up grounding out. In the bottom of the 5th, the Tigers came up, and they wound up having success of their own. They started off with Kevin Sondry. He had a base hit. And then Jimmy Boris wound up flying out to left field. And then Matt Tarantino had a double, wound up driving in Sondry. And a walk by Free. And then a base hit by Ryan Schultz wound up scoring Tarantino. And that's how the Tigers were able to tie things up. Then we held scoreless all the way until the 9th inning. And Ryan Robards came in, just popped out to the shortstop. And then Preston Mobius came out as a replacement of Carter Hayes. Had a base hit. Sondry reached first on an error. And then after that, got a little lucky. And the error moved Sondry over to second. And then the game-winning play. Jimmy Boris with a base hit down the line. And what a fantastic feat there. So that kind of wraps things up as far as the scoring plays go. And then, the pitching-wise, I'll give you some of the numbers here with the pitchers. Tigers used a plethora of pitchers. They had 6 pitchers, actually. Bailey Hansen started the game. Miles, he went 3 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. And then Miles Haddad came in with 1 inning. John Best came in, had actually the toughest part of the game. He went 1 inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned. Jordan Gonzalez had an inning. Ryan Shreve had an inning. But Vince Arobio, who will get the win, he's now 4-4 on the season. And what a fantastic spot he is in, as we will see Jimmy Boris here in just a moment. As he just ran all the way across the catcher's mound, or went past the catcher, and now he's stepping up here, and we'll hand this off to Jimmy. And Jimmy, what's up, man?
See ya.
Same here. So, first of all, of course, I want to talk about the game-winning hit, but I gotta ask you, in the first inning, you hit a double down the left center, and it looked like you want to stretch it into 3. You stutter-stepped at the second base side. What did you see, and you moved it over? We're trying to stretch it to 3.
Honestly, I was just trying to read what the guy was doing at the track, and I kind of stumbled a little bit, and that hesitation kind of cost me, but I mean, I was just trying to be aggressive and trying to get on third to just make it easier for Tino to hit me in.
How difficult was it to prepare for a game like UC Davis after coming all the way from Tallahassee?
I mean, it's really difficult because, I mean, it's final weeks for us, so a lot of us are grinding out through finals, and we didn't get back until 2 in the morning, but, I mean, it's always exciting to play baseball, so we're always ready to go.
Talk about this game, UC Davis, both teams looking to trying to push things away in their direction, and the Tigers, first of all, UC Davis gets 2 in the fifth.
Mm-hmm.
You guys answer right back, 2 in the bottom of the fifth, and what was the atmosphere like after the fifth inning?
Honestly, we were just trying to grind out, get someone on base, get runners in scoring position, just try to hit them in, and then our pitchers are just trying to get outs and get to our hitters so we can get the game-winning run.
Let's go ahead and move into the 9th inning.
Mm-hmm.
Preston Mobius comes in. He gets a base hit after 1 out. Then Kevin Sondry is able to advance after an error by the pitcher, gets everybody over to second and third, and then you come up to bat.
Yep.
Take us through that at-bat.
Honestly, I'm just it's infield end, so I'm just trying to put the ball in play, and the guy was pounding me outside, and I thought I was on his fastball, and he finally just gave me one that was kind of near the plate, and I just slapped it to the left side and got the game-winning run, so it's pretty cool.
I'm going to go ahead and toot my own horn and said I called it, just so you know.
Awesome.
Standing
Thank
up there in the top, so
appreciate it. Awesome.
No, but before I let you go here, your senior game, last 2 games left. You have 1 left, and that's going to be against USF in a couple weeks, about a week and a half technically. Your thoughts as you kind of wrap up your senior year?
Honestly, I'm just trying to take it in a couple more times. I mean, it's probably going to be the last time I ever play baseball again. So just going to try and enjoy it with my teammates because, I mean, they're all my family, all my brothers, and enjoy it with my coaches and just have fun. And then whatever happens afterwards. So I'm excited for it.
Well, Jimmy, congratulations on the game-winning hit.
Thank you.
Have you ever had a game-winning hit?
I've never had, so this is awesome.
This caps things off.
Yeah.
So good luck in Santa Clara.
You.
We may see you there. We're going to try and figure things out. But nevertheless, congratulations and one heck of a performance.
Appreciate it.
Jimmy Boris joining us here on the post-game wrap-up. We'll go ahead and give you the final score for the very final time. The University of Pacific Tigers win after 9 in the bottom of the 9th, 3-2. Final score, final time, final runs. The UC Davis Aggies, 2 runs, 6 hits, 4 errors. University of Pacific Tigers, 3 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. Final score, final time. Pacific Tigers win 3-2 over the UC Davis Aggies. For the entire athletic department, want to thank everyone there and Michael January, the producer, the director, and the entire communications department. I'm Jeff Dominic saying have a great rest of your night, everyone. Until next time.
In a world where your tires are your only connection to the road, 1 man, 4 tires, free air. An epic battle against underinflation, tire damage, and even tire failure. In the ultimate fight for properly inflated tires, the warrior gives his heart, his soul, to keep those he loves safe on the road. Tires will inflate. Money will be saved. A message from the Rubber Manufacturers Association.
That's the Big Dipper over there.
Yellow and blue make green.
Wow, a cow pie really isn't a pie. That's the Big Dipper over there.
Remember, you're always teaching. Teach carefully. React with rage, and kids will learn it's okay to do the same. Keep your cool, and kids will do likewise. For advice, visit actagainstviolence.org. Brought to you by MetLife Foundation, National Association for the Education of Young Children, and the Ad Council.
Statistics say that 4 out of 10 high school students will drop out of high school, but sometimes the difference between dropping out and finishing is a boost.
I sort of got messed up into gangs, and there's one girl named Maria. She just told me to get my things straight, and ever since then, she's been there for me.
10 real-life, at-risk students are filming their year, so you can see what it's really like trying to get through high school. Go to boostup.org to see their stories